workplace is safe. Secretary Scalia needs to stop dragging his feet and do his job. Mr. Chairman, I hope this committee can hear about those critical issues from Secretary to protect of the most deadly outbreaks. And as the rash of outbreaks at meatpacking plants shows, this isn't just an issue for the healthcare industry. We all produce and distribute it on a global scale and make it free and available for everyone. So I'll be asking about our progress on those issues today. Today, safely reopening our country may be a ways off, and the administration's planning may be way behind. Opening our country may be a ways off, and the administration's planning may be way behind.
I don't stop the bull. Hold on, wait. She didn't stop the bull. No, we start the bull. Don't stop the bull. I'm with it, lady. Hold on. It's the hearing. I'm listening to the hearing.
Corporations and protecting big business from accountability. People across the country are doing.
Oh, see, then actually they want you to hear it, then they don't.
Washing their hands and wearing masks and social distancing and staying home. They need their government to do its part too. They need leadership. They need a plan. They need honesty, and they need it now before we reopen, so they can rest assured that we are doing things safely and confidently with their health and well-being as a top priority. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Are y'all listening to this? I didn't know if I was going to come on.
It's an important hearing, and I know lots of people.
It's the Senate hearing.
Watching it for the first time. If they are, I hope they notice that we have 23 members of this committee, I believe, one more Republican than Democrat.
Oh, I want to listen to it, but I can't. Oh, I want to listen to it so bad. I don't have the patience. If y'all want to listen to it, we will. It's a live Senate hearing about how they're coming to save you. I wanted to talk about what does it look like when you're at war. That's what I want to talk about today. I'm not sure I want to hear the War Council talk about how they're warring on me next. I gotta find a picture. Hold on. Good morning, everybody. How y'all doing? I didn't download it. What does it look like when you're at war? Because if you don't know how to recognize what it looks like when you're at war, then you're in trouble. I gotta do a few things though. I gotta turn this music down because I talk too loud when I'm here. Like, yeah, you ain't gotta tell us that. We already know that. We kind of associated the things between the people who run their mouth a long time and if they have a loud voice. I have to turn it down because I get hoarse doing this, and I am not gonna be here for no 3 hours a day. I don't know how that happened yesterday. Good morning, everybody. Do you know what does it look like when you're at war? I think we got to do that. I've been spending time with Quiet Weapons for Silent Wars, Deborah Tavares, and we at war, people. We at war. They dropping bombers, got bombers coming with glyphosate and poison and chemtrails and the new, we in trouble. We in big trouble because they got the new kid sensor. What is the thing, the thing that they're using to be able to wake a child up in school? What is this? Bill Gates got the Q sensor. Did y'all look at the Q sensor? We might have to talk about that for a minute. If kids aren't paying attention in class, it's one of these little 1984 modern devices they put on their arm. And if they're not paying attention, if they're not reacting with the teacher and interacting, it probably goes. Actually, I don't know. I made that part up. I don't know. Does it buzz kids when they're not paying attention? Where's my apple? Oh, dang it, I'm done. Y'all know an apple a day keeps the psychopaths away. I don't know if y'all in the psychopathic government. No, actually it doesn't. You can eat all the apples you want. It just makes it more tolerable. It just makes it so you have an immune system. You don't have to worry about flu season as much. Good morning, people. Hang on, let me bring YouTube in. It just makes it more tolerable. Afraid. It just makes it so you have weapons for silent wars. How do you know when you're at war? And should you listen to the Senate hearing of people who's the war party that's coming to get you? I think we should, actually. I just don't want to. We should, but I don't want to. I know I'm at war. I've been at war since the beginning. since this God thing told me I had free will, and that was taken away. A lot of interesting things going around though. Hang on, let me bring this in. Turn that on, flip this up. But how do you know when you're at war? And should you go to those sending bombers over your freedom, over your liberty, over your life, over your children? Should you go to the people bombing you for help? These are basic, simple things. They're things that the privileged people that don't have bombers overhead don't know how to react, because weapons are quiet. Goodness gracious. Make your bowels move. Yes, Georgia, that's important. Georgia Abernathy, you got the bowel movements regularly. You do not have regular bowel movements, you're gonna die. On a regular basis, I'm still watching the Survivor shows. I'm watching Alone. And apparently that's one of the things that makes people, they give up on the show, because they can't have a bowel movement. You gotta have bowel movements. Apples is good for that, and probably everything else. But the fact is, they're a tree. And trees have more nutrition than plants, because trees dig deep for those minerals. They send those roots down in the vein. I was thinking about it this morning. You know, I think there might be a correlation to local farmers, because the farmers are my doctors and doctors. I think the immune system started dying off when the farmers, the for-profit systems, forced them to stop growing for roots and start growing for fruits. I posted that earlier. Do you know, y'all know what I'm talking about? Does that sound crazy to you? When the farmers stopped growing for roots and they started growing for fruits, that's when we all died, because they had to grow for fruits. They had no choice. They came from smart farmers. They knew what to do, take care of the soil. And they would grow and take care of the soil so the plant would get deep roots so you won't die, all right? The farmer was always your doctor, but then they came for the farmer's land. The United States Incorporated, a for-profit corporation designed to look like a government that keeps confusing my friends, and I have no idea why. It's just a corporation. People, it's just a corporation, and you know, the president, the Senate, the Congress, they're not CEOs, they're not even on the board. They're just told what to do. The illusion of control since 1871. But they wanted the land. The billionaires always want the land. The psychopathic trillionaire families always wanted the land. So how do you get the land from the small farmers? Well, you got to grow for fruits and stop growing for roots. You got to stop growing healthy things for the monkeys and grow what they'll buy that looks fruit-ish, that gives them immune problems, so we can start a big pharma, make a whole lot of money on selling medications. That who is picking the name of these medications? I know I got a couple points in my head I want to make right now. But when the farmers had to grow for profit to save their land, they stopped growing for roots. That's when they started growing for fruits. And who the hell is naming these drugs? I saw a drug last night. What was this called? I was trying to watch my Alone show, teach me how to survive in the woods when the Americans realized what's happening to them, and I got to go eat some beetles and make rat stew, ratatouille, and mice nuggets. The commercial came on. It was called Latuda. The hell is a Latuda? I am not, you know what? I am so glad whoever's naming all these pharmaceutical drugs don't pick a drug that's even close to sounding like medicine. They're not even trying to make it sound healthy. Every name they pick is like toxic, sound like an STD you get under your armpits or something. No. I'm glad they're naming it though, because ain't no way I'm putting no Prozac, Xanax, none of these things in my body. That's crazy. Who's calling me? Ooh, somebody from Connecticut. Let me get the comments. All right, that was a long opening. Let me get the comments. Good morning. No, I'm not gonna watch it though. At the Senate hearing, I'm not really that interested, because I got annoyed. Did you hear the first guy speaking? The first thing he said, your first person sending bombers over you who can, you think is okay. He said, well, there's no way out of this other than vaccines, testing, control, slow release of the human population and back to work. And the lady was talking about, oh, we needed to be safe to go back to work. I have a couple rules. I'm like George Carlin. One thing is, you never trust people sending bombers over your immune system. You never trust people bombing your healthcare system. You never trust people bombing the land you live on. You never trust people bombing your water and your food. You don't never do that. That's stupid. So I don't trust nothing that they got to say. And besides the fact, I'm healthy. What the hell I'm gonna do listen to sick people tell me how to be healthy? That's crazy as hell. Crazy as hell. Anyway, good morning, everybody. That's the end of my rant. That's it. Quiet weapons for silent wars. How do you know that somebody is at war with you. I don't know. They're trying to put Q sensors on your children. They're trying to put 4Gs in the trees because you can't say the 4 plus 1. Maybe we say 4 plus 1G. Let me move the bombers down, change the music. Maybe we have to say 4 plus 1G because they're censoring all of this all over the internet. And the monkeys are out, the flying monkeys are out. I was watching Sister Sheena's video yesterday. Did y'all see Sister Sheena? Sister Sheena is off the charts. Off the charts. The woman had 600 viewers yesterday telling you about and she's American. She's over in Australia, breaking apart the narrative. She's off the charts. And the new one is Sister Lily, Melissa's friend. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh, listen, don't ever come for somebody's friend. Because I guess Lily is Melissa's friend and Melissa's husband he believes the TV. Well, you don't piss women off. They come with the facts. And she young too. They're young people. Good video. I posted it yesterday. A good way to wake people up. You wake people up with love and facts and maybe they'll wake up, maybe they won't. That's all you can do. All right, let me change this music. Good morning, everybody. How y'all doing this morning? How do you recognize that somebody in control of the corporation that's over you that's pretending to be a government? How do you know that it's at war with you? How do you even know if you're in quiet wars? How do you know if there are rumors of wars? Good morning, Brenda. Good morning, Patricia. Cattle prod. Well, you know, cattle prod. Who you cattle prodding? Oh, Patricia, what's the cattle prod about? The Senate hearing? Yeah, I'm not listening to it. I was upset in the first few minutes. Because I know this is my end. I know this is when I'm getting off the bus. So I really don't want to hear it. I already know the bombers are coming and they need me to capitulate and they need me to agree. No, I don't view the test the same way you do. I don't. I'm a little weird. I like RNA. I like my body having more function. So I eat apples and I eat a lot of deep leafy greens. So every year that function comes around and the RNA and the fatty coating, I make sure I get it. No, I don't even want to take the test. You can show up to my door if you want. Look, I'm going to say, officer, can I answer the test before you stick anything in me? Can I just go ahead and answer? Because I want, listen, I'm not scared like you. I don't give two damns. I do not eat Twinkies for breakfast. I don't eat bagels for lunch. And apple pie is dinner. I don't do that. I don't eat the Fruit Loops for breakfast. No, I don't do that. I need my yearly cleansing. Yeah, I need it. If I take that test and it come back negative, we got a problem. Somebody got to get the coffin or something. We're going to have to rub some hands, do some free hugs or something. I've been out the whole flu season. I'm just not like y'all. Like y'all can hide it. You can hide wherever you hide and being scared. I'm not scared. I read the human manual, said you're supposed to eat real food. You're not supposed to go to your produce section that's not organic, and you're supposed to grow as much as you're supposed to. Eat as raw as you can, and if you don't, you're going to have a trouble of flu season. Good morning, Jonathan. I don't even want to take the test. I just, look, can I just check the box positive? That's all. Positive. Boom. We can go ahead and end this. This is where I get off the bus. No, I'm not going. I know I was already delivered to the wrong dimension to begin with. So I know when it's time for my time to get off the bus. When they look like this and people drowned in and they're asking Bill Gates and billionaires and corporations for solutions and cures to things as cure between your two ears. If the jelly between your two ears is working, that the cure for everything is already in nature, it already works together in balance. And if you don't unbalance it, you don't have to worry about a cure. But most people are cheering for that. I know it's time to get off the bus. So I'm fine. I'm like, you know how when you're on the back of the bus and you're coming home from school, and it's almost time for you to get off the bus because your stop is coming. You don't get upset. You don't get worried. You know, that's my stop right up there. There you go. Yep, there go my tree. There the sidewalk. Yeah, and there go my mama's car right there. That's my stop right there. That's when it's time, my time. That's when I'm getting off the bus. So I'm not worried about that. Listen, y'all can have 1984. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. What am I? FEMA Camp 12? I think I'm Camp 12, if I'm not mistaken. I'm gonna get my Betamax tapes, my VHS tapes. I'm gonna get ready. Listen, hey, it's time to check out. It's time to check out. I'm done with this. Good morning, everybody. Jonathan, what's that? Ooh, Jonathan down in Arizona. Yes, he is. Let me see. The best drugs always sound like intergalactic warlords. Yeah, they do. No, but no, they sound like intergalactic warlords with viruses that's doing nasty things with and not wearing protection, landing on different planets, getting STDs. They do. I would never eat any of them things. I watch the pharmaceutical companies' commercials just because I want to know how stupid people are. Like, and then they go through the side effects. They don't even turn the volume down. They actually get louder on the side effects now. I think they just play with people. It might cause bloody anus, blood shooting out of your eyes, urine coming out of your butt, testicles growing on the back of your ear, death and cancer, and they always say the thing that you're trying to prevent, foot fungus. So wait a minute, I'm taking this to stop fighting foot fungus and it might kill me? And people buy it anyway. That's why that's why I think they pulled this. I think they were probably in the meeting with the banks. I think they were up there with the higher ups in the big club. Like, listen, we got the monkeys. The monkeys, when they get a tail rash, they gonna take Prozacadoo. And they got bloody anus and just shooting out. And the water company loves it because they get to buy more chemicals to put in the water trying to deal with the treatment. They're hiring new staff because of what they're dumping in that water. And that water ain't filtering none of that stuff out. So yeah, it's my time to get off the bus. I know I'm at war. I've been at war for a long time. A long, silent war. Been at war for a long time. My stop is coming up front. And I know it's like, one more stop. There go my friend's stop. My stop is coming. No, send me to another dimension. I wasn't supposed to be here to begin with. I was supposed to go to a dimension that wanted like free food and be free, not be born as debt slaves and hand that to your children and call it an economy. What is citizen debt? What you come in on? I'm done. That's it. I just had to get that rant out. I'm gonna read comments for a minute. I was listening to the Senate hearing this morning. It's like, people, we're at war. We're literally at war. They're telling you cannot come out your house unless you have testing, tracing, and the Q-Bert thing that they want to put on. You know we're gonna die because they call it Q-Bert, or they call it Q-sensor. Bill Gates, he watches TV too. He's paying attention. All you gotta do is put the right names on it. And the only reason that they're calling it Q-sensor is because it's 2020. If it was 2015, it would be called Obama sensor. And everybody would have got like, oh, I can't wait to get my Obama sensor so I can zap my children if they're not paying attention in class. How is that not going to be linked up to, what is that stuff called? Ritalin. Ritalin, that's another drug name, right? Like if the kids aren't paying attention in class, you zap them like, oh no, he's having trouble paying attention. And the thing beep, 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 beep. Then a Ritalin injection goes in. You know that's coming. Ritalin. Who would call it that? I would never eat anything called Ritalin. I would never get that to my children. Hell no. Come on. Ritalin? Like they're trying to get rid of you. Trying to get rid of restless children. They're trying to get rid. His name ain't spelled that way. I know. I don't know. Oh, my sister lives in Bayonne, New Jersey. Oh, down the street. Believes all of the BS, thinks I'm mental and would probably snitch on me. Yes, she would, Jennifer. She will tell on you. She'll tell on your children. She'll call the police. She'll make sure that you get tested because she loves you, Jennifer. She watches television and the billionaire's television tells her how to love Jennifer Carol Cahill better. And that's to get her tested because she watches crazy people on YouTube and Facebook and they say things like, you know, they talked about this a long time ago in endless documents like Quiet Weapons for Silent Wars, that we've always been in a silent war. And my apologies. I think I said that the document was found on the airplane. That's not how it went down. The document was found in a Xerox copier before they realized that the Xerox had memory. The same way my friend Donna Harris saw the pictures from NASA. Good morning, Sean. Speaking of conspiracy theory, where y'all on in the universe? On Latuda with her hairy lips. Yeah, I know, Susan. Yeah, we were agreeing on that one. Susan said earlier. She said Latuda. She said it kind of sounded like that greasy old lady down where you in South, where you go down South and you related to her. You don't know who she is, but she got like chicken and juice on her lips and stuff. And your parents like, go kiss Uncle Boo Goo Goo. And you're like, you 7, like, I don't want to get Uncle Boo Goo. Can she get that chicken grease off her lips first? And you go kiss her lips. Or you go get your kiss and she got that mustache, and like the mustache scratch you, and she leave chicken juice right here. Like, this is pedophilia. Why you got this old person kissing? I don't know this person, and the mustache scratch you, and the scratch and the juice go in, and you create a new cuckoo virus. Susan, everybody got that person. Everybody got that person. Anybody got relatives down south? Everybody got that person in their family. I know. I was abused as a child. My parents made me kiss and hug on people. I didn't even know their names. Ritalin makes you boring. Creativity squasher. It does, Patricia. It's like ridding people of freedom and creativity and individualism to get them to be zombies, to sit down, which is what that Q sensor is all about. Right? It's like the kid sit in class and somehow it looks at you. It's like a pedometer. You know what the pedometer, and it's funny. Oh my God, they call it a pedometer. They literally call it a pedometer. I think everything's a trick. Everything is like English language. They're trying to get you used to certain things. They call the damn thing a pedometer. Anyway, so the kids wear the pedometer type thing in class. And if they're not paying attention to the teacher, they're not interacting, it gives them some sort of score. Like the parents at home getting a social credit score before they're let out their houses. It's a war. We are at war. If you cannot recognize what war looks like, you in big trouble. With me, I'm ready to get off the bus. That's why I said, I'm just the people say, when's the revolution? I don't know when your revolution is. I really don't care. I hope you get your world back. I do. I hope you get out there and get to going and get your word. I know it's time for me to get off the bus. Most people, like Jennifer said, going to turn you into get whatever they need. Half the people think that they're fighting pedophilia, and the other half the people think that there's a virus going around killing people. And I just think I'm in the wrong dimension. That's all. Safety is community. There is no personal safety. I agree with you, Petra. There is no personal safety. If I had personal safety, Petra, I wouldn't get off the bus. I wouldn't get off. I might stay on the bus. But that's me. I don't care when everybody else gonna revolt. I know this. I know that you ain't sticking nothing in me, and I know you come and try to test me. I need to be able to check the box. If I can slide him 100 to 200 and check the box positive, we good to go. Because that's how my body works. My body needs all the bacteria, the fungi, the mycorrhizae, and everything. All the viruses function. I'm not at war with viruses. I'm not at war with people. Like I posted the other day, I'm not at war with anybody. I'm not at war with anybody. Why would I be at war? I'm not at war with anything on earth. I'm a part of earth. I'm a part of all of this. I'm not at war with any of it. And that's why industries that make money, they get you to go to war with something. I'm not at war with viruses. I just take care of my health and they don't bother me. All right. Question everything, they said and do. Yes, Gina, they say question everything, then they get you to stop at your government. Good morning, brother Sean Yankee. If y'all don't follow Sean Yankee, he's another one to follow. Brother's doing great videos. Arizona, but I live 5 minutes from Cali, just across the bridge over the Colorado River. All right, Jonathan Close. Let me see. Courtney Foster, when I go to the store, I'm immediately aggravated seeing everybody in masks. Then go on a tirade about how ridiculous it is. I do too, Susan. That's why I don't go to the store. I don't go to the store. I'm drinking creamer with, what the hell is in this? It's not even sugar. This is where I cheat. The only place I cheat is sugar. I'll get my sugar in the morning, but I don't get sick. Ain't nobody paying for my health care, so I'm not really about what other people think. I like my International Delight carcinogen glyphosate creamer, and I drink it, and I don't get sick. That's why I ain't worried about the flu. That's why you're allowed to cheat. You're allowed to cheat. Once you get your body back together and you won't get sick, you can cheat. But I'm drinking, that's not what I'm drinking. I'm drinking healthy creamer. Because I send people to the store for me because I ain't going. I can't do it. I already don't like going in Home Depot. I go to these stores and I got to rush in and rush out, right? Because you go to Lowe's and Home Depots and these places, the big box stores, because they done shut down all the small hardware stores. I only got one around the corner. And you could just breathe in. You can feel what you're breathing in. You know you're breathing in micro dust, concrete, cement, paint, wood dust, petrified something, and you know it's going to give you lung cancer down the road. So I got to go in and come out. I know exactly what I want. I go in and I come out. I am not a woman Home Depot shopper. I do not go aisle to aisle trying on different logs, trying on different hardware. I don't test and look at the price of this, that. No, I know exactly what I want. I go in, I hold my breath as much as possible, and I get out. I I go to Home Depot and there's a line of people out front trying to get in the store because you can only have like 50 people in the store, something crazy like that. Then you get to the register, you walking through the aisles and everybody's acting like everybody's infected, like, ah! Like you're walking in the aisle and they scrunch up against the aisle because I kind of walk in the middle. I walk in the middle and they scrunch up against the side. I want to get sick. That's how I know it's a psychological thing. It's a fight. They're trying to get people to be scared of each other and love the government that's making war on them, which ain't a government. It's a corporation just designed to look like a government because they ended the republic in 1871. Oh, I hate going to the store. But no, I've only been to the store twice. I've only wore that mask, breathing in my bacteria, all the stuff that my body's trying to expel, the CO2. It's causing climate change. Now they want me to rebreathe it back in. I've only done that twice. I've only done it twice, and I'm not flipping the mask. If I got to wear this 200 times, I do. But I tell you what it is going to do. It's going to force sovereignty. It is going to do that. I stay on the bus, we start talking sovereignty. We start talking about, okay, fine, we get it now. Yep, 1871, they made a corporation called the United States Incorporated. This is 149 years to the year, and next year will be 150. I don't know nothing about numerology, but that damn sure sounds like a contract. And a nice rounded number that ends up at 150. Something unprecedented happened on year 149. I don't think 150 is a coincidence. Somebody else bought the nation, the corporation that looked like a nation. So, but if we say we get it, and we start reading law, and we decide that we all want to turn in our birth certificates and go through that process and become free people again, become free Americans again, I stay on the bus. But that's got to get popular again. That's got to get popular again. That's a laughter. That's an old Eddie Murphy bit. Aunt Meanie with got a mustache. Oh, she does. That's right, Patricia. That was an Eddie Murphy skit. He was talking about his aunt with the mustache. Yeah, a little different context, but yep, sure was. Sure was. You right about that. Hey, Sandra. Good morning. Who was that? Desiree's in the house. The mask doesn't make any sense to me. Remember the Fuji song? Everybody wear the mask. But how long will it last? Yes, I do, Desiree. I have to go back and listen to it again. Well, the mask makes sense to me. Like, the world doesn't make sense when you think it's a government and they're here to help you. The world doesn't make sense when Bill Gates is the one that you need to save you, your daddy. You get a cut on your arm. Instead of dealing with it yourself, you go to mommy, Bill Gates, to kiss your boo-boo. Like, the world doesn't make sense when you think about it from that perspective. But when you think about it from the perspective, this isn't the government, it's just a corporation. Everything they do is for profit. It all makes sense to me. Wearing masks is about compliance. It has nothing to do with your safety. That's why they don't care. Somebody did a meme on that. They don't care if you wear the ghostly thing. You can get a bra, a maxi pad. You can get your jock strap. Just take that thing from down low and put it up tight. You can do anything you want to do. And they don't care. Or you can wear a medical mask. They don't really care. They just want you to comply. Right? It's psychological. This is about 1984. They just push people as far as they can to get you to comply. You know, so yeah, no, it's not about the mask. It's not about safety. It's like yesterday on Sister Sheena's thread. Her stream, which was phenomenal. 600 people out there. She just blew up one day like Ty did. And I tried to give some warnings, but people don't like to listen. When you get big, there's a setup. It's always a setup. They did it with Debbie. I seen them do it with Ty. They don't do it with me. I get over, how many people I got here? About 30 over there and 100 or 10 over on YouTube. No, when it gets up into the hundreds, I already know the flying monkeys is on the way. They do that intentionally. They set people up for failure because it brings the trolls. And that's what they did to Sister Sheena yesterday. She'll be going to Facebook jail soon. Unfortunately, that's just how this works. You're not allowed to get popular. If you get popular, they report you enough and they take your page away. That's how that works. I try to warn people, just be careful. These people are slick. Everything's a scheme. These are their tools, not ours. We were on the thread yesterday, so all the monkeys came. They was all like, oh, you're crazy. This is insanity. Whoa, you got your own reality. You made it all up. And it doesn't make sense to people when you start telling them because they've been living in the false reality for so long. The Matrix makes sense to them. Some things in it don't make sense, but they like the taste of the steak. Like, you know, so it's hard for them to wake up. They just blue screen. And when they blue screen, their first thing is an emotional response to, no, that's not true. You're crazy. And that's what they were doing. And I was just trying to say, calm down, everybody, yesterday. If you don't know what Sister Sheena's talking about, you need to educate yourself. You need to do some reading. If your world doesn't make sense, then obviously the narratives that you have for it don't fit, right? It's like that puzzle. Y'all remember that puzzle when you're a little kid, you got the squares and the star and the circle, and you know the kids are just gonna have some trouble. The ones that can't get it, like they turn 4 and they still can't figure out that the square go in the square. The star goes with the star and the circle in the circle. It's like adults. If your world doesn't make any sense, then the narratives you believe can't be correct. You got to try to put the square in the square and the circle in the circle and the star in the star. They tried to put me in that class, boy. They tried to get me on the short bus. My mama stopped them, but I ain't gonna tell that story right now. Boy, my mother didn't have to fit. Anyway, yeah, adults, they can't get it. It doesn't make sense. See, everything makes sense. It makes sense to me. It's like, why are we locked in the house? Well, because you got this thing called central banking. You got these things called pharmaceutical companies. You got this guy called Bill Gates. You got what's called a fiat currency. You have what's called a digital currency they need to bring forward. They got something called 1984. We've always been in something called the Quiet Weapons for Silent Wars. You got to do your education, do a little bit of reading. Read it. Confessions of an Economic Hitman. Was that John Perkins? You know, you need to read War's a Racket. You need to read Eddie Bernays' Propaganda. You start reading that, then it's like, oh, now I get it. I get it. The world's making sense. But before that, you know, ignorant people respond. So that's anyway, Desiree. That's what I think. The mask, they don't care nothing about that mask. People poisoning my air don't care nothing about me not getting a virus. People poisoning my water and food, they don't care nothing about that. People trying to get me to take Proloxacil and got 82 commercials for Proloxacil while I'm just trying to watch alone and figure out how to survive in the apocalypse. They don't care about my health. It's just about compliance. They want to make sure that the slaves behave. That's all they want to do. Good morning, Chris Lewis. Yeah, Petra is called the Q Sensor. I'll post the link. Somebody sent it to me. My daily storm of people inboxing me with all the things they want to scare me. Let's see who gets scared Gerard the most. I don't really get scared. I just look at him like, yep, this is all coming to fruition. I'm excited for the poison. Less people to deal with. Oh, Furious Georgia, isn't that coming? You know, it'll be interesting on the other side of this, whoever makes it. Whoever gets up selected, not down selected. And it's not by nature. It's not by nature. This selection is brought to you by your billionaires and trillionaire families, because too many of y'all on the planet, your nostrils are too big, you're breathing up all their oxygen, eating their food, and you live on their land and they need a whole lot less of you. Kings have depopulated from the beginning of time. You will know when nature is ready to down select your species. That's what I look at, George. I look at it, you know what? When it's time for nature to down select you, you ain't gonna have to worry. You don't have to run. You ain't gonna have to hide. That old duck and cover, duck and cover, duck and cover. I think I just did the song Duck and Cover to Young and was that Children and Marriage? What was the name of that show? With Al Bundy. Duck and cover, wear the mask, social distance. Nah, when nature comes for you, you can run. You're not gonna run. You're not gonna hide. The only people gonna make it gonna be people not in the modern world. The indigenous tribes will make it. All of us will get wiped out, as it always does. Right? How do I know that to be true? Ain't no reptilians running around here. Ain't no people from the land on the lost running around here. All the other little hominid humans, the little midget ones, and you know, the last of the pygmy pretty much done. We pretty much wiped them out. No, when nature down selects you, everybody goes. It's a clearance sale. No, Bill Gates ain't gonna be able to save you. The billionaires ain't gonna be able to save. They're not gonna be able to save themselves. Ooh, was it Target yesterday? Bizarre lady loudspeaker like Logan's Run. Please remain 6 feet apart. Blah, 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 blah. What the fudge? I know, that's why I can't go. I don't go to the store. Nope, I don't go to the store. My lettuce is all pretty much ready to be picked. So yeah, I'm eating all my food here locally. I'm not worried about the cuckoo virus, and I ain't gonna stand in stupid lines where it's like 6 feet distance. And like, I don't know, being around scared people makes you scared too. I don't like to be around scared people because I pick up their energy. I pick up that negative vibe. They're scared of the virus. Then you gotta pretend like you believe in the system for a little while. And I don't like to do that. I don't like to pretend like I believe. Just putting on my mask, I feel like a criminal. I feel like, no. I don't like to go. I feel like I believe this nonsense with everybody else. Ooh, let me see. Well, good morning, Sandra. Good morning, Elaine. I just stopped in to get coffee, and the guy in front made the woman change her lid twice. I said that the girl Don't worry, he was crazy before all of this. She said, I can't wait for this to be over. I felt bad for her. Yeah, I hear you, Elaine. But you know what? You ever watch the show Monk? Y'all should watch the show Monk. If you have not watched the show Monk, oh, what a fantastic show. Oh my goodness. What a wonderful show. They're trying to turn everybody into hypochondriacs. And it's working for a lot of people, like people who had common damn sense. Well, they might have been struggling with it ahead of time, but they had some of it. They weren't hypochondriacs. They're turning everybody into hypochondriacs, right? It's that psychological game. Because it's something that happens, Elaine, when you look at humans and you're around them. Like you look at them and you smile and what. Like, I don't like wearing the mask because I'm smiling at somebody under the mask. Like right now, I'm smiling at you, but most people don't see that. They just see a black dude with a bald head that's looking at them. Like, I'm smiling right now, but it doesn't. They thinking I'm trying to rob them. You know, and the same thing with the white dude. The white dude, if you got a mullet, bald head, 6 foot tall. No, I like to smile at people. But I think there's a lot you pick up from humans who aren't like dressed in mask and garb. When you see a human face, it makes you feel at ease. When you see somebody in a mask, it makes you feel like something's wrong. It makes you scared, right? It makes you suspicious. There's a lot of things that happen in our brains, and I'm not saying but just biophotons, but all the stuff that happens at looking at a human face that's smiling at you and one that can't. They're just trying to make everybody enemies of each other and hypochondriacs, thinking that everybody has a disease, everybody has the virus. We need to stay away from everybody. We need to go to our government for solutions to save us. You know, and once they sufficiently make enough people scared of each other, they'll turn you in for anything, like Jennifer just mentioned. They'll turn their neighbors in. They'll believe it's the right thing. All right, now, I'm sorry, I'm changing that. I know people say I'm farting. I ain't farting. Say, how come every time he eat a apple in the morning that he say his phone vibrates? Just my dog. Let me see. She eats compost, dead animals, smells butts, but somehow my immune system works. Well, Jennifer, that's why your immune system works. It's not because your dog sniffs other butts or eats anything on the ground. It's because the dog's tongue is toilet paper. And if you kiss your dog in the dog's mouth and the dog kiss you with his toilet paper, you're going to be a very healthy person. You'll be sick at first, but once your immune system picks that up, it can fight anything. If it can fight dog, and it ain't just his toilet paper. Because I had dogs, they used to clean each other. I had an Akita and a Siberian Husky. They used to lay down and they just toilet paper each other just up so they nice and clean. And then they come kiss me in my mouth and wake me up in the morning. I used to sleep with my mouth open, Jennifer. And that's like a man thing. I mean, some women do it too, but I know I do. And my Akita would come up there every morning and lick me in my mouth. And the Akita ain't got little tongues. They ain't got little toilet paper. They got big toilet paper. I mean, the toilet paper fit over almost half of my face as a child. And I wake up every morning, they go Kuma. And he didn't clean his toilet paper first. So my immune system works. But your government assumes you are by default at war. They are, Elaine. Anybody coming from my free will is at war with me. Everybody coming from my free will is at war with me. You don't have to poison the water, the food, the oxygen, the air. All you got to do is take my rights for me and my kids, and it's war. It's on. I don't lie about that. I don't pretend with myself. And you know, and there's people still on the Donald Trump thing, and Elaine, I don't understand it. I don't understand. I got a text message this morning. Get your boy. And it's like he's not my boy. He's a dude, and he works for the United States Incorporated. And for the most part, he's doing what all the rest of them doing. You know how we were talking about how, what was it? After World War I or II, I forgot which one, mass medicating people became a crime. It's an international crime that you cannot mass medicate anybody. And I remember around the time that the election was coming on and everybody was getting all excited. And, oh, we got to make sure we get Donald Trump or we're going to get mass vaccinations. I was just like, you know, I used to work in Big Pharma, and I'm just going to tell you this. We used to cross the T's, baby, and dot the I's. All right? If they bought mass vaccination, it's not going to matter if you got Democrats or Republicans, Donald Trump or Jesse Ventura or Oprah Winfrey in office. You going to get your mass vaccination or you going to fight and the system going down with you die trying. Why? Because they buy law. They buy it ahead of time. They don't like you. They own you. They don't hate you. They own you. And they need your fake corporation of a government to use the debt that your children got to pay for to buy all of their products. You're a captive customer. I told them, I said, mass vaccinations coming, doesn't matter who you vote for. They're like, no, it's not. He's fighting the deep state. I'm like, listen, I was that same way when who's the last politician I believed in? Damn it, I don't think I've ever had a president I really believed in. I don't think I have, come to think of it. But, you know, I believed in some politicians. Oh, Jill Stein. I believed in Jill Stein. She never won. I think she won, but she didn't win. That's a whole nother story. Presidents are selected, not elected. But I said, no, they already bought the law. It doesn't really matter who's in office, and any political party that turns against Big Pharma, they don't have to worry about sitting in them chairs no more. They don't have to worry about being in office. And so mass vaccinations are coming. So don't worry about it. It's an international crime. We're protected. No, we're not protected. Somebody took us out of the International Criminal Court. Y'all remember that one? Remember when we were posting while he was fighting the deep state and he took us out the International Criminal Court in an Obama move, something you would expect from the last president who was scared the hell out of anybody who's paying attention like this one is now because of corporations deciding for them. Took us out of the International Criminal Court. So literally, no, it's not a crime here anymore. I mean, it violates the Constitution and the Bill of Rights, but you don't have a Constitution and Bill of Rights because that was suspended in the Act of 1871. And now you are a commodity to this corporation through your birth certificate. And the only thing that could have protected you was the International Criminal Court. But somebody pulled us out of that because they convinced you it was a good idea. That's why I just sit back and I just enjoy the show. There's no Mighty Mouse ain't coming to save me. Either I'm gonna save myself or I'm gonna die. But ain't nobody. I don't believe in none of your leaders. Besides, I'm a god anyway. I don't need a chaperone on Earth. They are being field tested in Singapore. Yes, they are, Petra, in Africa, right? Because everybody asks for the cure, and they're gonna make Africa pay for it because that's usually what they do. And don't worry about it. Say, well, that's just Africa. They'll figure it out and they'll help us. They'll take one for the team. No, because what they do to Africa, that's just phase 1 of the experiment. Phase 2 is coming for you, right? When you beg for a cure, they look for the poorest nation they can find. They test on the people, which is why I don't think that these diseases and pandemics, that they look at the third world country because they don't know what's going on. And I don't think it's because people poor. We got poor people here. I think somebody down there testing on it. They test on them. They develop the cure that you sit in your house waiting for, and they bring it here to test on you. You're just phase 2 of the human trials testing. That's all. I believe all the cures are between your ears. If they refuse to use their brain, I'll use it for them. I have no guilt in taking advantage of people who choose fear and stupidity. Yeah, we do know that, Ty. We do know that, which is why your friends list does that thing, goes up and down, up and down, up and down. That's how you know that you're being honest with people with what you really see and what you really feel and believe, is that friends list is not stable. If you have a stable friends list, then you might believe in the system a little too much. If you losing and gaining friends like a stock market, then you're probably saying things that defies people's indoctrination. Using hemp milk, I really like it and my stomach likes it too. I do too, Jonathan, and one day this is going to be a hemp creamer one day soon, because I think this war on drugs thing is about to fall and collapse with the medical industry. And if that happens, hemp going to be one of the first things out there. And when I was at Claudia's, I had hemp creamer. It was delicious. Absolutely. It's fun when you meet another nonconformist in the store. That doesn't happen too often to me, Lori. Every now and then I'll meet somebody and we'll laugh together. We'll laugh together about it, but it's very rare. I think most of the nonconformists just refuse. Like, we'll sit in the house and we'll just make it work, right? Because some of us even came from a certain poor times in life. You just make it work. You look in there and say, let me what I got in that fridge. I got Raisin Bran and some raisins. I got a tomato, some broccoli. I'm not sure. Let me check the kale. The kale ain't doing right, and there's some water. Yeah, I can probably make some soup. I can probably make that. That's why I do my smoothies. Like, all right, what's in here? I take everything that's in there, throw it in the blender, grind it up, and go ahead and eat it. But I don't want to go to the store. I have to buy anymore. I do not want to be around those people. Let me see. They're trying to divide and conquer, fear, false evidence, appearing real. Yes, they are, Gina. That's why I can't watch the Senate hearing. Is anybody watching in the background right now? What they talking about? Ooh, my nose is itchy. That's how I know somebody watching the news. My nose gets itchy. You know what? I actually do want to watch the news. I don't want to sit here and do comments. I do want to look and see if there's anything that's interesting that's what's happening. Because this is, I think it's dominating the news cycle. There might be something out there that's important. There could be something that's happening other than 1984. Everything is 1984, and they got us to cheer for it and embrace it and love it coming. Oh, the videos, they're dragging people out their houses. They already started doing that in Canada. And I thought somebody might have said the UK, they're already dragging people out their houses, and people like, oh, I'm glad I'm free in America. Proud to be an American. I'm like, no. The same corporations own all of this. They own all them nations. If it's happening to them, it's waiting to come to you. We don't have to play that game. Because now you got the Chinese racism going. They had the other side, had the Russian racism going. Like, oh, that's why it's good to be here, because we're free. Like, name one thing Russia did to its people that the United States didn't do. All right, shut up. Like, yeah, but that's China, communist China, the CCP, what is the communist something party? They did this to their people. Name one thing that China did to its people that the United States didn't legislate and does legally to their own. Name it. Name it. Nothing. All right. You're not free. We're commodities. In China, they're slaves. We are just commodities. That's all we are. Ooh, let's look at the news real quick. I want to see if something in here looks interesting. Ooh, goodness gracious. Times we live in. Hopefully some aliens on here. Let me see. I'll make that biggie now. Anything on here looking important? Restaurant and small business owners troubled. No, they're not troubled. They're going out of business. This was a robbing of the middle class. They destroyed the GDP. And yeah, China could have something to do with it. I'm not letting China off the hook. I'm just saying that your angst is misguided. That's all I'm saying, right? I mean, China could have been a part of it. I do have a working theory. I have a working theory. Once again, everything starts at currency. Everything starts at the purse. And the banks needed to flip the currency. And the financial analysts been predicting that for years. And America printed away 98% of its value since 1913. So it was ripe for a flip, and it was a bubble. So the analysts didn't disagree on that. So I think that began it. But they could have went to China and just, hey, listen, China, listen, we got an idea for you. You can destroy the American economy and take over all of their imports and exports. You can make a whole lot of money, create a lot more customers all around the world, and collapse the United States economy. All you got to do is release this flu. And that could have happened. That might have happened. I don't know. All I know is that China would do it to take over the world's pole position from America, collapse the American economy, and they say you can do this, and ain't nobody gonna stop you, because the Democrats and Republicans in America, they gonna think that it was them. It was gonna think that the left gonna blame the right gonna blame the left. They might blame you, but either way it's okay, because they ain't gonna blame the banks. They're gonna have that digital currency. We're gonna have the Q sensor. We're gonna have 1984. We'll have the 4Gs and 5Gs. We'll have aerial drones looking at their face. We'll have them on a whole new social credit scoring and take away all their rights. Could have been. I don't know. So let me see. Restaurants and small businesses troubled about something. What are they troubled about? Troubled comeback. No, there is no comeback. According to the Federal Reserve, they're expecting, well, they were expecting. Were is the right word. Was it 35 or 35 or 45 million unemployed, 33% of the nation, and that was a month ago. As if we opened a month ago. And now we know we're on a perpetual lockdown until people get tested and make sure that they don't have something that they're supposed to get every single flu season. So people are gonna want to get tested. This thing is gonna be labeled. This thing is pushed out. So we were started a month ago, we'd have had a 33% unemployment after all this shakes out. So it's going to be a lot worse. That's why I say the apocalypse is here. You don't have to worry about the apocalypse. You zombies apparently aren't going to walk, but we in big trouble. No, the businesses aren't going to make it. All their supply chains are shut down. China's now selling what they were selling to America to Latin America somewhere else. Well, no, that's not true. It's going to come all back online. That's not how money works. Let me explain how money works. How currency works is when they shut you down, they had to print money to keep you a slave. And the reason why they only gave you a tax credit, $1,300 worth, and they gave the real money to the corporations on Wall Street, one, because you don't actually have a government, you have a corporation that's working with the other corporations. That's number one. Number two, when they print all that money to give to those businesses to keep their friends' businesses online, the billionaires, not yours, somebody got to pay that back. Somebody has to pay that back. They didn't print money out of thin air. We like to say that because that's what they do. But on the world market, it has value. That value goes down. Currency war. That's how George Soros made his money, is devaluating currencies, right? That's how he became a billionaire. And so your currency gets devalued the longer you stay in your house. The longer you're scared, the longer you pretend like the people who's out there protesting 3 weeks ago didn't get a virus that's supposed to proliferate within 2 weeks, but ain't nothing proliferating, and people still on Facebook sitting in front of their yards, gardening and stuff, and bathing suits with bushy hair. But they didn't get sick. The longer you stay in fear, the more longer you stay on lockdown, the bigger the unemployment rate, the lower the value your currency goes. So all this stuff that comes from China is going through the roof. Then China at some point in time, well, once the dollar gets devalued against the yuan, why in the world would they sell smartphones to America? Ain't nobody gonna buy a smartphone that costs $80,000, but they can sell it to Latin America or Europe or somebody else that has a higher value currency. You see what I'm saying? So that's why those businesses are failing, because the imports that they need, they won't be able to afford anymore, because the dollar already didn't have much value. It was attached to the petrodollar, and the rest of it we printed out so people could stay in their homes. It was all a scam. It always is. That's just how the world works. That's what I was trying to say on Sister Sheena's thing the other day. Just look at the money. Key bono. Just everything is economics. I know it feels good to pretend it's political and the emotions get in. Everything is usually just power and money. At the end of the day, when it all shakes out and we find out 10 years later what happened, it's usually just power and money. That's all it is. On every level. On the local level, the state level, the national level, the billionaire above that level, trillionaire banking, central banking. It's always just power and money. China-India border conflict explained. Okay. Power and money, I bet you that will explain it. Land, land is power and money. Monkeys live on the land, it's power, and you can grow things and develop things, and mine the land is money. Rick Sanchez, personal tribute to Don Shula. I don't know who Don Shula is, the name, however, is. Oh no! Did he die? Chips? Is that Mr. Chips? No, that's not Chips. That's not Chips. That's not the Mexican dude on Chips. No, that's not him. Never mind. That's okay. Always about power, Lori. Yes, it always is. Oil in the land. Yes, Petra, oil, land, minerals, resources. What it's always about. Confessions of an economic hitman. Petra, I used to tell people all the time, it's just colonization. That's all it is. Colonization. They're like, we stopped colonizing 200 years ago. No, it just became debt colonization. Nobody stopped colonizing. Colonizing still works. They will take you, they'll take the land, the minerals, and the resources, and the people. All right. NBC apologizes for not playing Barr's full quote. There could be something there. I don't know who Barr is. Y'all tell me if y'all want to see that. The only Barr we need to worry about is related to Black's Law Dictionary. That's about the only Barr we need to focus on. Everything is the law. If you read the law, you'll understand how your world works. If you trust TV politics, you will not have a clue. Can you imagine Chips still on TV? Oh, I wish it was, Jack. I wish it was. The best TV shows done went off already. They're all gone. I miss my racist show. I miss all of them, Jeffersons and All in the Family, Mama's Side. The kids don't want to watch that now, though. They're scared that it's going to hurt somebody's feelings. I heard people hurting my feelings. They turned me into the man that I am. Captain Kirk said it, Jack. Captain Kirk said it. He said, I need my pain. Because this is what one of the episodes, no, it's the movie, where the guy was going to take his pain. He said, you're going to take your pain. You're going to feel nothing but joy all the time. You're going to be a walking orgasm. They didn't really say that, but that's what I heard. We're going to take your pain, Captain Kirk. It's going to be a utopia for you. And he said, no, I need my pain. I need my pain. My pain makes me who I am. Right? It's like the yin and the yang, the good and the bad. There really is no good and bad. It's all just, it created you. All the things that you've been through, good, bad, and people laughing at you. Because you had toilet paper coming out your sock, coming out the public restroom. It taught you, and you learn. You learn to do that double extra check before you leave the bathroom. Did I develop a tail with a brown streak on it? All right, here we go. UFC restarts its MLB next. Oh, good. I don't know what the MLB. Hopefully that's fighting and people in the crowd. That when the movie theater opens up, I'm gonna be one of the first ones. First ones. I'm gonna support my movie theater. I ain't gonna let y'all, cause y'all are scared of viruses destroy my cinema. I don't like Hollywood, but I like them damn movies, and they centrally managed. I can't do much about that. But between aliens and zombies, I miss going to the theater. I'll be one of the first ones. I will live stream before the movie comes on. You don't believe me? I ain't scared of your virus. I'm not scared of flu season. I'm not worried about, and we're destroying too many good industries. We're gonna destroy an industry. Nah, don't let it be the movies. Let it be the pharmaceutical industry. Let it be an industry that needs to go. Let it be the pesticide industry. But I'm gonna support my industries, the ones I need to keep around. I can't wait for nature to take its place back. I'll never have to fight about my gay rights and my orange man bad every. Yeah, well, I'm serious, George. I'm on the side of nature too. Nature need to reclaim the land when it needs to reclaim it, and it's getting up to that point. She's got to be getting pretty frustrated. That's how you control the flock with meds, vaccines, and technocracy. Yes, it is, Brother Harley, right? That's the problem with you, Brother Harley. You read books. You don't watch TV to learn, watch the billionaires' TV for it to tell you how the billionaires' TV work, or how their world works, how they make profit, and how to stop them. They don't put that on their television. That exists in hidden, obscure places on the internet and Xerox copier RAM information. Quiet weapons for silent war. New questions for new video about Ahmaud. Oh, this some other news. Ahmaud Arbery shooting. Ooh, I'm gonna get in trouble. I should play that. Because this is the one where they hunted him. This is the one where they hunted the guy. This is the one where the two guys got together and hunted down a dude. And you know that they're trying to play you in the media because they tell you they're racist and not the fact that just two dudes hunted down a dude. So you say two dudes hunted down a dude, nobody really gets on the two dudes side. That's why I know it's not news. If it's news, they just tell you the important facts. When they tell you the insignificant ones, that's how you know they're trying to control you. That's not the one. That is it. We can watch that if y'all want to watch it. It's up to y'all. I really don't care. My perspective on that is I'm not really too concerned about, well, shoot, I'm gonna get in trouble. I'm not even sure I can say anything. I'm not even sure if I can say anything because I don't know. I don't like hypocrisy. I hate hypocrisy. And I know this. I know my nation is based in hunting down nations and killing them. Thousands and millions of people, stealing resources and so, yeah, I believe in justice, but I also believe if you don't fix the core problem with the system, it's pointless. I don't cheer for catching criminals. I don't ever cheer when that happens. I cheer when you change the system that manufactures the criminals and allows people to be killed. And at the core level, we have a violence-based system, and our government loves it and thrives in it. So that's up to y'all. We smile with our eyes, not just our mouths. Yeah, that's true too, Susan. Some of us do. But TV drives what most people believe, and through your eyes and what you're wearing, the car you drive, and sometimes your skin color, if you got a mullet, and your hat, if it's clean or dirty. People make decisions based on that. I don't think it's racism. I think it's just called perceptionism. Depending on where you were born, if you weren't used to seeing a certain thing, it scares you a little bit. And that's how I think they're turning the population against each other. Ooh, unless you're the Lone Ranger. Ooh, the mask is soothing. It is, Jack, but that you showing your age, brother. You're showing your age. I used to love the Lone Ranger. Tonto. Ooh, that was racist, wasn't it racist? Was that a contract tracer sound? Contact? I don't know, Elaine. I'm not worried about contact tracing. I do know. It was Brother Daniel. He's the one up on that. I bet you, yep, he got it right there. No mandatory vaccines, but he used to do the no contact tracing. I'm not so worried about it because they've always been contacting and tracing. They've always been tracing us, and when they need to contact us, they can always contact. They've always been doing it. They're just steadily getting worse. Good morning, Paul Jones. Good morning, Ivan. My dog eats rabbit poop and then licks my mouth and nose, building that immune system all day. It changed and, oh, who's Susan? Yeah, yep, Susan, you probably gonna live. But you know what? That's a good thing, though. It's a good thing too, because you know, poor folks and regular folks, we live the most humble. Right? We're the ones that's more likely to have dogs licking us in our face and mice pooping in our plates. When the apocalypse comes, the people with the strong immune system, as the scripture says, the meek will inherit the earth. You know, the more money you get, there's a direct correlation. The more money you have, the more sterile you live, the less your immune system works, the more you cry about flu season, the more you want the healthy people. And being sick, you want to dictate what being healthy is to the healthy people. There's a correlation in that, but the meek will inherit the earth, and I think that's a good thing. I agree with Furious George on that. I think any world that still looks down on certain people because they were born a certain way, I think that world needs to burn. I have no interest in normal coming back. Normal's gone. You ain't never gonna get normal back. That's why they got the key word, new normal. That's why they use that word, new normal. You'll never get your normal back. Those businesses are gone. They ain't never coming back, right? Walmart and Amazon and Target and all the rest of them that stayed open, they made trillions cleaning up on your ignorance. Trillions. That's why I say you can't, every decision made in fear is a bad decision. Then y'all remember old people, you say that? Every decision you make on fear is a bad decision. If you're in your house because you made you're fearful, it's a bad decision. I ain't saying go outside and contact people and touch people and kiss them and hug them. Because you say that, they delete your video. All I'm saying is the more you interact with biological things, the healthier you're going to be. So get yourself a dog, get yourself a puppy, get yourself a rabbit, just like Susan said, and let the dog clean the rabbit's anus and let the dog kiss you in your mouth, and you'll be healthy. It's an ecosystem. Everything's in balance. When everything works together, great things happen. When you take care of the soil, you get healthy fruits. You don't need massive medical industries, right? Too much stuff to watch. Too much stuff that is reality based, I guess. Yeah, citizen depth. I think that's part of why I don't like the news either. There are too many real things you can watch. There are too many real things. There are too many real online websites, videos, documents, and books that explain the real world than to watch this nonsense. The new normal, new world order. Oh, Lily, isn't that interesting how they'll use words and plays on words to get us to accept these things and yeah, this is a good idea. It's new. The new normal. And it's just that's just another word for slave plantation on a global scale, new world order. And you got people who know better who are cheering. All right, what else? New York buys Game Boy knockoff for Rikers inmates. I don't know. She might upset me on that one. Rikers Island, that's another good reason your world needs to burn. You turn kids into people who use violence to solve problems you gave them through artificial scarcity, and you give them knockoff Game Boys. But if I say, you know what, this is what I'm saying, Wall Street, it's just a black criminal market. That's all it is. It's always been that. It's always been that, right? So now if you use knockoffs, what would happen to you? Who is this right here? Don Davis. If Don Davis went to the store and bought a few knockoff Game Boys and sold them to somebody, Don Davis would be under the prison, right? Because the people, the criminals that are on the side of the system do it, then it's okay. Keep telling Trump what is expected. Yeah, Jack, they do that. They tell Trump what to do. People, you know what? A lot of my friends who voted for him as a sabotage to the system, I understand them. I do. I don't necessarily agree, but I understand. People who actually thought that a Twitter troll, real estate, basically criminal operating billionaire that everybody in the hip hop community loved because all the rappers used to love him, would actually do anything against people that burn nations is insanity to me. I'm not sure that is the Obamites. I'm not sure. We'll have to see how this plays out. The term isn't over. There's still a chance to turn the boat around. But when they started saying Obama was Jesus, I was like, oh my God. And now they're saying Trump is Jesus. And I'm just, you know what? When your world doesn't make any sense to you, when you try another hole, okay? When you're trying to square peg and the hole is round and it ain't going, then you're supposed to try another hole. You know, you just try another hole and see if that works. but nobody's coming to save you. You don't have any, no Mighty Mouse was not real. Nope, that man ain't real. There ain't nobody showing up in no tight drawers or Armani suits to save you. They got that Armani suit for a reason. All right, it's getting worse here. Sheep. Is it, Ivan? I think some areas are getting better, some are getting worse. I think the protest areas are getting better. Because I think there's a correlation between how many people you know who went out to protest that didn't get sick to people realizing that, you know, maybe we were lied to. Maybe we were played, maybe they were played, and they don't want to admit it. Maybe they're saving face, and maybe I need to look at other sources. Maybe I need to try a new hole for the star, because it ain't going in the circle. I got to find a picture of that. What's the name of that game? All right. Brett Carey, good morning. Listening to you instead of my music. Oh, why do I work in chores? Oh, I do my work in chores. Okay, Brett Carey was probably the only person. Are you in America, Brett? She's the only person in America cleaning her house. Brett Carey, when you done, can you come to my house and clean my house? I'm still making excuses. I know I got different excuses though. At first I was just being lazy. I wasn't cleaning my house. Now I'm like working in the garden plants. I can't clean the kitchen. I got seeds to plant. I wish I had the discipline that a lot of women have. I just don't have that discipline. I want to do what I want to do. And if I don't want to do it, it ain't going to get done. Ain't going to get done. But usually when I'm out in the garden, I'll listen to Ty, or I'll listen to Tony, Chris Lewis, Sheena. Lily is another good live streamer. I kind of listen to them while I'm in the garden, and then I don't get no work done though. That's the problem, because I'm listening to them and I'm like trying to do something, like, oh, I gotta reply, somebody said something, you know. And then Tony said I gotta say something. Todd Church done said something, I gotta say something. That's the only problem why it's a problem. I need to just listen to music. I do, but when people start dropping good information, whoo, it's so important. And it's therapeutic. It's therapeutic. It makes you feel like you're not crazy. When other people process information you do, and you make it real, like, dang, I really ain't crazy. And that reinforcement is so needed. It's so needed. Sister Lily's a good one. She's a good one. You know what? When young, I think she young, ain't she? You young? I like it when young people, like, they'll read stuff that the old fogies read, because I'm 29. And when you read the stuff that we read, in your mind, coming from a different place, different perspective, different religion, spot, perspective, never met people you ain't know from paint, and they come to the same conclusion you do. You're like, yeah, all right, I guess that does make sense. You know, that's why that's what to everybody needs to live stream. Lori's another one. Lori's another good live streamer. When people who you have no affiliation with, you don't even know the same people, ain't never been to the same places, don't eat the same food, come to the same conclusions you do after they get the information, it's so important. Then it gives you what you need to get on with your day. Oh, it's needed, Jack. Brother, oh, is it needed? Is it needed? Because even me, when people are like, you always laughing and having fun. I am, but I have my fears too, don't get me wrong. And when I can look at other people's pages and hear other people's perspectives, like, yeah, that, you know, because I think these digital devices, they're slowly brainwashing us like the popcorn at the drive-in theaters, and you start to, what's it called, backsliding in religion. You start to backslide on what's true, and you start to believe. It's like when you go to the store and everybody's got a mask and you got your mask, and after a while, like, you know what I did? I'm gonna tell y'all something. All right, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be honest with you. So I did get roped into it for a moment. I went to the gas station. And I got gloves in my car, but it's never gloves for like protecting from bioweapons. I got, all right, I was gonna lie to you for a minute, and I was gonna tell you to hold the gas pump. I grabbed the tissue out the back seat. That did happen one time, but that would be a lie. The time I'm talking about, it actually was underwear. Don't ask me why it was underwear in the back of the car. Most likely it was because it fell out the laundry bag, okay? That's the main probably reason why I had some drawers in the back seat. So I took them drawers out and I was making sure nobody was looking around, and I grabbed the gas pump with the drawers. They's clean drawers, they weren't dirty drawers, they clean drawers. And, and I put the gas in. And then I just sat there and I started thinking to myself, Jack, I'm holding a pair of my underdrawers, pumping gas. And somebody just pulled in a pickup truck. And I feel so stupid. Oh my God, what the hell's wrong? Like, I already know it's a gas pump. It's a gas pump. And what happens to you when you use the gas pump and you get in your car Is your car smell like gas? Why? Because it's gas on the gas pump. Bacteria don't live in gas. Gas kills bacteria. It's antibacterial. It's killing your hand. It's killing the skin cells on your hand. But sometimes you get carried away, and just being in public when other people do it, there's something that we want to mimic. We want to be like them and do it too. So listening to other people see through the matrix, it's important to have those friends. Which is why I know that the internet, what do they call it? Blackout, which is a racist name. I don't know why they call it the blackout. Y'all could have called it the yellow out if you wanted to. You could have called it the mocha out, but they call it the blackout. Like black magic. That's why that's coming. It's coming because people are there's too much defiance. There's way too much. I have 5,000 friends, and I should not have 5,000 friends. I used to bounce around 3,000, 4,000, up, down, now 5,000. Today I'm gonna have to delete a bunch of people to bring in the queue of people I have, because I look at your pages when y'all send me friend invites. I judge you. I do. I judge you. I don't look at the pictures no more. I used to look at the pictures, nope, but now I know all the pretty women, most of the pretty women ain't pretty women. They're 17-year-old kids in data centers, and robots and AI. So no, I judge you. I look at your page and I start going down your page and I'm like, oh wow, that's kind of deep. Oh, that's kind of deep. Oh, I got to be this person's friend. They can teach me something, and I got to delete other people that don't really post anything. But that's why I know that internet, that darkness day is coming, because there's too much defiance online. As much as they want to control the narrative, I think they're losing control of it. I think they're even losing Facebook. I do. Y'all don't think so. Y'all think that Mark Zuckerberg is out to get you. I don't think so. I think Mark Zuckerberg just likes power and money. And when they give him power and money, that's what he'll go along with. You know, Facebook is a highly controlled platform like all social media is. But once again, Facebook lets you send all the truth you want in messages. Very rarely does it stop your message. You know, and that's what makes me think that there are people on the inside they understand what's going on and they don't like where this is going. You know, so they'll let you talk in private groups and messages, but they won't let you talk in places their advertisers can see it. That's why I think it's all about advertising. They just want the money. It's just about the money and the power. They'll side with NATO if that's where the money and the power are. They'll side with the government if that's where the money and power are. But when people start waking up and they realize on the other side of this, we still want a Facebook. We still want people facing and booking. At the end of this, people can decide, nah, we're going to break up social media and spread it to the wind. Who said that? JFK said that about the CIA, break them up and spread them to the winds. Yeah, people upset. If on the other side is if people win this thing and they get some freedom back, they get some sovereignty back, they're going to shut down social media. They're going to make it all free speech, and they're going to take the power away from the people who develop these sites. That's why I think they'll secretly let you say what's true in the messages. I'm going to bowling in the movie parks. That's good, Lori. I'm going to go, not bowling. I'm not interested in bowling. I'm okay at it, but not so much. When they first open up, I'm gonna be the first one to buy a movie ticket. I might buy a concert ticket just because I think concerts are good, and just anything that's getting the most people. Anything. I'm gonna go to the country fair if they got the Apple Festival, and when they have the Strawberry Festival, when anything that's got lots of people, and I'm gonna go to it. Big time, right? I'm gonna make sure my number gets counted in the fact that I understand that this is just a flu season, and they're just trying to roll out 1984 type software and technology. And the only way they do that is they scare people into thinking it's a good idea to be a happy commodity. All right, shark kills. Ooh, California surfer, great white spotted. That's news. I'm sorry, I have to usurp my authority. That is important news. News you can trust. What is this? Hey, commercials. Oh, they got masks. This might be important. Y'all paying attention? Hold on, I can pause it. Wait. And you can help us respond to emergencies from anywhere. Medicine Sans Frontières, Doctors Without Borders. Help save lives. DoctorsWithoutBorders.org. Which is a very important organization. Don't get me wrong. I'm being facetious a little bit. But my doctor has borders. That's the problem I have. My doctor has borders. My doctor is not a member of the Doctors Without Borders. My doctors, they killed him. His name was Dr. Sebi and some of the other doctors. The rest of my doctors, they have borders and being censored online. And my other doctors are the farmers. Y'all gave them borders to steal their land from them so they can't grow fresh, organic, healthy food that's quality based. So my doctors all got borders. The doctors ain't got no borders. Most of them is chemists. Listen, you can ask your doctor if you want to.
There are now reports in California that 5 great white sharks were spotted off the coast of Santa Cruz just about the same time that a surfer was killed by a shark.
Uh-oh.
Everybody out there is talking about it. The surfer, by the way, was beloved by his community. His.
Okay. Because I was about to say, the surfer that we lost. Anytime you start talking about sharks and like dying, I got 2 people that come to my mind. Anytime y'all talking about people dying from sharks, I think of the 2 craziest people I know who swim with sharks. Rebecca Costello and Emily Rudolph. Those are the people I think about. When I start thinking about deadly shark attacks, I'm like, all right, I gotta go check their pages, make sure they're okay. I got friends that swim. It's kind of funny. I got 2 friends I know that swim with sharks, and both of them are women. There's a story there.
Mensch, a really good guy, they say. Here is our report from California. The
Murder hornets, now
Natasha
this.
Sweet.
26-year-old Ben Kelly was an avid surfer for most of his life. When he wasn't in the water, he was working in his small Santa Cruz business, customizing surfboards. Friends say he liked encouraging others to enjoy the ocean.
Pause. All right, this is not a sad story. I'm gonna tell you why. This man lived his life. This man obviously loved what he did. He figured out a way to make money attached to one of his passions. That's a beautiful living. I can tell that just by looking at him right here. That's not work for him. You think he's working and you think he got a mask because he's scared of the virus and flu season? No, that man's doing what he loves. People who live, they lived a life. There's some people who never live. There's some people doing things they hate. They're with people they hate. They're in a country that they hate. They got no freedom, can't do nothing what they want. They can't grow the plants that they want. They can't smoke what they want. They ain't never lived a free day in their life. But if you figure out your passion and what you love to do with surfing and you attach a business to that, you're making money. This man lived his life. He lived his life.
He was very genuine. I don't know. Just very intentional with every conversation.
But on Saturday, Kelly gets into the water for the last time.
The neighborhood kind of started chattering online, and someone had said that it was a shark attack.
The Santa Cruz County Coroner's Office identified the victim of Saturday's shark attack as Kelly. He was surfing just outside of Santa Cruz around 1:30 in the afternoon. The attack reportedly happened within 100 yards offshore. A witness was able to flag down a lifeguard.
What got my attention was there was a very, very large dark fin, and it came out, and came out of the water, and then there was like a feeding frenzy and all this activity, and then as soon as it started, it disappeared.
On his website.
Who mama is that? Who mama is that? Y'all need to go get your mama. Did she just say feeding frenzy? Somebody died from a damn shark attack. And she described it as a feeding. Why would you say something like that? Why, out of all unsensitive things that you could say, a feeding frenzy? No. What you supposed to say for the family? Say, you know what? I hadn't seen the fin, saw a dark shape. It might have been the shark. I wasn't sure. I don't. Feeding frenzy. Why would you say that to somebody? That's my baby. She American. I know she American. I know my Americans. They ain't got no filters, but they tell you exactly what they think. But there are a couple interesting things about this story I'm thinking about. How they know it was a shark. Well, they know it's a shark because the woman with no damn filter. But also the sharks, they like to hang around in the area. Why? It's like a deer. They come to your garden, you don't know what you're doing, you feed them, they coming back around. That's how they know it was a shark. You ever heard of quiet weapons for silent wars? You ever heard of the pharmaceutical industry? You know how like depopulation, you know how we talk about, you know what, if it works, they'll probably do it again. Yeah, if it works, it worked, the shark gonna come back around. See somebody else gonna get in the water with them. That's why I don't go in that damn water. I don't know what's in it, right? So why do they keep playing depopulation? Because it works. Why are they doing 1984? Because it works. You see how that works? This is what I do all damn day. I look at nature and I'm just like, Oh my God. They're just replicating nature and just playing us over and over and over and over again. They just keep doing the same thing because it works. If it gets energy, they're going to keep doing it. Because everything is about consumption of energy, from bacteria to multicellular organisms to mammals to sharks. If it succeeds, they're going to keep doing it. If you keep going for it, they'll keep doing it, right? And that's why, like I said, every president gets worse. Every president gets worse. Why? Because you keep going for it. So the banks keep sending the sharks. They keep playing with you. The United States corporation, every fiat currency's collapsed, every empire's collapsed, it just keeps repeating. It works, right? If it's a working strategy, why would you change it?
Kelly explains he began shaping surfboards as a boy because it gave him a creative outlet while fueling his love for surfing. And now friends in the surfing community alike are mourning his loss.
When you pursue a career as a surfboard shaper, it's not a get-rich scheme. You do it because you love the ocean, and you love surfing, and you love the art of building surfboards.
Did y'all hear that? This is what we talk about every day. And I nailed it. I nailed it. I'm not patting myself on the back, but I know the man loved what he was doing. And that's how you know people love what they're doing. That's how you know people are honest, because they'll do it for free. They'll do it for almost nothing, right? That's why farmers were always poor, right? They did it for nothing. You couldn't break them. You couldn't break them. They'd be dirty and filthy and go in the house with cow poo in the ears and falling off their boots so filthy they had something called a mudroom. But they didn't mind being poor. They loved what they were doing. So the only way that you can scam them off their land is you had to raise them mortgage. You had to give them mortgage. You had to teach them that, oh, you can grow more with soil compaction and putting massive tractors out on your farm, right? And they did that. But what you got to do is you got to get a mortgage. You got to buy this heavy piece of equipment. And if you actually buy this with some pesticides, yeah, it'll work out better for you. And so they took the land that their family owned for a long time. Mind you, that land was stolen. So, but we don't want to go there. That's why I don't think anybody owns land. And that's how they got the land from the farmers. They got them to put their farms up to buy all this equipment that didn't actually work. They tricked them. But they loved what they were doing because farmers didn't need any money. As long as the family was the house was paid for, the land was already paid for, the kids are eating, they ain't give two damns about you in your bank, right? They used to shoot at bankers. They had nothing to do with them. I own my land. This is my right. You ain't got no right to be around here. All right. That's how I know he loved it. And this is what everybody should be doing. This is when we will have 100% efficiency in society, when everybody's doing what they love doing instead of going to do what they're forced to do. Ha ha ha. See how that played back around, right? If you're doing what you love doing, you'll do it for free. Is that Jeannie? Jeannie right there. She's another good example. That woman is good at crafts. She like doing all kind of crafts and stuff. And she got her business going. If you love doing it, you do it free. I bet you. I don't know Jeannie from paint, but if you ask Jeannie from paint, if you ask her if she would do what she's doing for free, she'd say yes. Why? Because she does it for children. She loves children. She loves doing crafts. When people are free, they do things that they love. And they'll do it till they're blue in the face. They'll do it all night long. That did not sound right. That didn't sound right. But it's true. They'll do it all night long. They'll do it in the morning. They'll do it on the weekends. Anytime they get a chance, they're going to do it if they love doing it. Now, if it's for money, they give about 60%. They'll do it when they can't play the card games at work. They'll do it when they don't have something better to do. They'll kind of do it, but they'll take a 4-hour lunch break. Right? We fix the world by getting people doing what they love doing. Stop forcing them into careers they hate doing that make them take Xanax to get up in the morning. You see what I'm saying? That's how you know somebody loves doing. They'll do it for free. If you'll do your job for free, then I agree. You love what you're doing. But short of that, you're saying I love my job because you're indoctrinated to say that. This man loved his job, and it's obvious.
While shark attacks are extremely rare and the last death in the area occurred in 2004, Champion says they've had encounters, but nothing even close to what happened this past weekend.
We've had bites, but we've never had such tragedy.
A local drone photographer says he observed dozens of great white sharks recently, counting 15 on Saturday. While swimming and surfing was allowed in the area, the beaches were closed to visitors. But as a precaution, authorities closed the water 1 mile north and south until Thursday. Reporting for the news with Rick Sanchez.
Yeah, and and that's another thing. You know, you love what you're doing when you got half-ton animals that you can't see coming live where you love doing it. with 6 rows of teeth. That's how you know what you love doing. Shoot, I like going to the beach. I don't love it. I like it. I don't love it. Well, you ain't never gonna get me surfing. It ain't never gonna happen. That's not okay with me. No, that would be tyranny. So Gerard, you're gonna have to surf for a living. You're gonna have to pay me a whole lot of money, and I'm gonna hate it. And you need to give me Xanax in the morning, because I ain't getting in no water with no damn sharks. I'm food. I am food. Well, kinda. I'm not on the preferred list. Now, humans are not on sharks' preferred list. Mostly they just want to kind of chew on your foot and see if you're a juicy seal with lots of fat. But that chewing is gonna hurt. So I don't get in the ocean. Final phase of every civilization. Yeah, Jonathan, there's always a Kali Yuga. How many times can they push a failed messiah until one sticks? Well, one always sticks, Petra. What they do is they change the names and cultural appropriate the religion to fit the people at a time, and that one will stick. And all they need is a messiah to stick for a few hundred years. And the kings and the lords rule because they convince people that they speak for the kings, and they have the right to take away their free will. And that's why they partially modify those scriptures. That God thinks that you got free will, you're a sovereign. That God thinks that you're a God and God is within you, that we're all connected and God is in everybody else. That's why when I default back to religion, it's not really religion, it's scripture. Just back to the fact that you got to respect people in that type of way like they're gods. And if you maintain that respect for people, you love people that way, we don't have any of the problems in the world that we have today. All the problems go away, every last one. If anybody actually trusted those scriptures that says love everybody and look out for everybody and treat everybody like they're a God, we wouldn't have no problems. Every problem comes because we ignore those scriptures, but we like to pretend that we don't. So that was good news. That was real news. I mean, it was good news. Not that he died. It was good news in the fact to hear that there are some people who are living kind of free. There are some people who love what they're doing. And you need to live before you die. We all gonna die. That's part of why that's my little hashtag. We all gonna die. But not everybody lives. You make sure you're living. You make sure while you're here, you're doing something to push the world in the right direction. Especially if children of the next generation is your passion and you're a part of the human race. Another China conflict with India. U.S. bombers to South China Sea. Why are the U.S. bombers going to this? Oh, okay, yeah, because we're threatening the South China Sea. They got them islands with the sand, conflict and money, right? Yeah, that's what they always do, about to rob somebody. Bo Derek, on being cast a perfect 10 woman. Bo Derek, it cannot be still a 10. I'm not going to click on that out of respect for the women that are here. I remember Bo Derek from back in the day. Yeah. We're not going to touch that. Go keep going. Mainly because I don't believe in giving children, little girls, this idea that there are 10s. I don't think there's such thing as a 10. I don't think there's a such thing as an 8, 9, 5, 4, 3, 2, nor 1. I think that everybody's beautiful in their own way. And when you let the television indoctrinate you to convince you somebody with a symmetrical face or some sort of a body is a number on a scale, how is that any different than slavery? That's why I'm not gonna click on that. Yeah, I probably had a Bo Derek costume, Bo Derek poster. I probably did. But now I'm grown, and now I understand how they played me as a child. They played me into these false sense of reality to try to convince me of what pretty is. And I don't want to give it to the children. It's slavery, right? You know, we still do that to women. We do it to men too. Every day do it to men more and more, but you feel like you're on a stage where you're walked up on a stage and you're being judged, you're being rated. How is rating a woman any different than rating a slave? They used to take the slaves up on the stage and they'd rate them. They'd see how strong their hips were. They see how strong their thighs were, what kind of muscles they had. You know, and they look at the women, they'd rate them too, right? Because they would be raping the women, right? Why do we want to continue that going forward? Why do we want to continue these little concepts? Then is the weird thing about, I think, all of this at a principle level is if we do it as a model, it becomes a part of who we are. And now we're okay with how we do it because we convince ourselves when we do it, we're better than when they do it. And that apathy and hypocrisy. So I'm not going to click on that. Police violently arrest a man for not wearing a mask. Again, here we go.
And then there's this tonight. Police in New York are being accused of using the COVID-19 social distancing guidelines as an excuse to harass minorities in the inner cities. This charge stems from an incident in Brooklyn where police are seen using violence against a young man who was arrested for not wearing a mask. Police officer says that when he's asked, what did he do wrong? He wasn't wearing a mask. By the way, there is no statute or law forcing Americans at this time to wear a mask, at least when they're outdoors or on a non-private property. With more now from New York, here is RT correspondent Trinity Chavez.
Today, officials preparing for New York's pause order to expire on May 15th.
From my point of view, we're on the other side of the mountain.
Governor Andrew Cuomo saying some businesses may prepare to reopen on Friday, revealing a 7 metrics plan regions must meet before reopening.
We have been smart through this, and we have to continue to be smart.
The criteria including a 14-day decline in hospitalizations or under 15 new cases, 2-week declines in new infections and deaths. New hospitalizations have to be under 2 per every 100,000 residents, and hospitals must reserve 30% of both hospital and ICU.
All right, I had to give you my perspective on this. Couple things, but a good thing, one good thing. So remember back in the day when anytime you heard about police brutality, you'd have one side jump on one side and the other side jump on the other side. It's a good thing that we live in a time that nobody's doing that anymore. Not on my thread, I don't see it. Now both sides understand that this is a police state. Both sides understand this is 1984. Both sides understand this is bipartisan. Democrats and Republicans did it together, and globally it's happening to all the other nations. That's a good day. It's a good day that people actually understand that the police are supposed to brutalize you. It's a part of their job, right? This isn't an accident where it's just 1 or 2 cops here or there. No, it's a part of their job. And the vast majority decide not to do that job. They literally decide not to abuse you, which is why brutality is so rare when it comes to the percentages of interactions of citizens with the police. The vast majority want to be those heroes. But the brutality happened. And this is an excuse for it to happen. Why? Well, you got those arrest minimums, right? You can harass people and arrest them or bring them in for a mask, and you find out they got some drugs on them, you put some drugs on them, whatever. That's how you get a retirement. Everything is about power and money. Remember, nothing's about emotion. Very little is about emotion. There are no coincidences. Everything is about money. That's the first good thing that I saw. The second thing is the 7 metric plan for New York proves beyond shadow of the doubt that this was a scam. Right? We don't have a 7 metric plan for cancer. We don't have a 7 metric plan for diabetes. We don't have a 7 metric plan for cardiovascular disease, the #1 killers of Americans. How many people died of police in New York? How many kids die in Rikers Island? We don't have a 7-step metric plan to end any of those pandemics. We don't have a 7 metric plan to reduce any of that, to restart it. The fact that they don't restart things right away, now we know that this is one of the lowest pandemics in U.S. history. We know it's one of the mildest flu seasons in the last 7 years. And that's like stating it mildly. And that's on the CDC website. That's their own statistics. Like if you really do some digging and you really understand that the doctors and the nurses and the medical professionals, they're the conspiracy theorists, not me. They did this, not me. When you really understand like what changing the coding does and that hashtag video my hospital, like a brother was getting on me yesterday and he's like, yeah, I'm kind of sick of you live streamers. Y'all, I want y'all to go to New York to one of the worst hit areas and do a live stream. And I had to reply back to the brother. He's a good brother. And I just said, well, I don't really have a reason to do that. Why would I do that? We already know on the CD website that this is a mild flu season. We already can see that the government's slowly reopening, which means that they're in on a scam. For whatever reason, they're capitalizing off of the disaster, right? They're trying to get everybody on forced vaccinations because they're getting kickbacks from the pharmaceutical industry. That's a known scam, and how bribing in political parties have always worked for a long time. And 2, right, my position as a live streamer, it's not for anything other than to give voice to people who are educated or professional in a certain area who I think don't have enough voice, right? When it comes to IT, robotics, and automation, you ain't gonna shut me up. You're gonna hear my mouth because I'm skilled in that and I understand it. I've worked in that industry for 20 years. And how are you 29? Shut up. Right? It's the nurses and the doctors that did this. I said, brother, why would I go there? And you got hashtag video my hospital, hashtag film my hospital. There's one other I can't remember. The doctors and the nurses, the doctors getting laid off and the nurses who couldn't get hours at the hospitals that were empty, that the media was lying about saying that were full. They started that, not me. Not me. I don't know any live streamers that started. I mean, maybe there are some conspiracy theorist live streamers. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm an economic understanderist. I listen to professionals who work in those industries and I say, hey, something ain't right because this is an alternative message to what's on the mainstream media. So yeah, I'll never go to New York and film a hospital because I don't have a reason to. You already got the doctors and nurses are doing that. And so that's the other good thing, is it's showing people that this is disaster capitalism. This is no different than what they did to Puerto Rico. Now they're doing it to New York. So if you were in New York laughing at people in Puerto Rico, now you see how that joke always comes back around. That's how this works, right? Puerto Rico is a scam. They literally keep them unsustainable. So when problems happen, they can charge anything they want. They can steal all the land they want. And Puerto Rico has a corrupt government at the top. Now, New York has a corrupt government. They keep the people locked into a food desert. They can't feed themselves. They can't have access to medicine, anything that they need. Now they're locked in their house. They haven't let you out the house. You don't have access to clean grass and you live in an apartment and they tell you to come out the house, you got to get tested. And they know most people that come back positive. Why? Because it's flu season. It's flu season. And when you dig into the statistics over, who was that doctor who said it? I forgot her name. She talked about how the millions of people who got the flu this flu season. But they already know. See, your politicians, they just got that dollar sign in their eyes, right? This is why you need forced vaccinations. Why? Because they're going to make, what the politicians are going to make hundreds of thousands, maybe millions on it, right? They're going to do what they're told to do by the pharmaceutical industry for having captive customers who are shut down and locked in their houses. The pharmaceutical industry is going to make billions, injecting you with things you don't even know what's in it. So this is why this is a good news article right here, because it's showing some truthful things. But of course, New York doesn't care. New York doesn't give two damns about its people. You know, Khalif Browder, wasn't Chris Gardner one of the ones in New York that they ran in? Come on, stop it. They don't care about the people. They're not worried about your health. If they're not worried about shooting your children and dragging them to Rikers Islands for having a book bag, that was the Khalif Browder story. But they're not worried about that happening. They're not worried about you writing legislation to use police as slave catchers the same way they did in the past. Then they ain't worried about your health. They ain't trying to kill you. They ain't trying to help you. That's my perspective.
U-beds. The guidelines also require 30 contact tracers for every 100,000 residents. But as officials enforce rules to stop the spread of the virus, several tense moments caught on camera. Social distancing patrols in New York City taking a turn for the worst. Disturbing video showing a violent clash between apparent social distancing violators and police in Brooklyn.
Whoa. Wait a minute. So first of all, a couple questions. One, because I don't watch the news. You mean to tell me they got social distancing patrols in New York? Now I understand why my sheriff said what he did. Now I get it. My sheriff said, he released an announcement, said we will not be violating anybody's constitution. That's why I got out the cities. That's why I don't live nowhere near no damn cities, number one. Two, outside of the fact that you got social distancing mobs walking around on the street with badges, just not torches. Aren't you violating social distancing by beating up people in the street? I'm just asking a question. Maybe it doesn't make any sense to me. Maybe it's something I'm not seeing. Aren't you like violating the whole purpose of social distancing if you're beating down children in the street in Brooklyn? I don't know. Has anybody seen a scam yet? Do police, maybe here's a good question. Do police who don't have masks walking around on the street pick fight with citizens who are, if they're worried about the cuckoo virus, do they pick fight with citizens and then tumble with them on the ground?
And this cell phone video capturing the moment an officer waves a taser and repeatedly strikes a bystander during a social distancing bust. Police watchdogs accusing officers of using social distancing during the pandemic as an excuse to harass people of color along the lines of...
Look at this. He's not resisting. He's not resisting. He's on the ground. He's on the ground. And the guy's still hitting him. The guy's still hitting him, right? See, now the beautiful thing on this one, you can't see the guy's skin color. I always appreciate this. But there's no different than what they did to Lavoy Finicum. There's no different than what they did to Ruby Ridge. There's no different than what they did to Waco. What they do is, like we mentioned before, they create headlines to make you stupid. They create headlines to get your bigotry. They create headlines and they put races in them and rancher or whatever to try to confuse you in the police state that they're rolling out bipartisan. And now they're showing you the police state, right? This is how this works. And you don't have, well, you do have people who want to be heroes. Most people going into police want to be heroes. But you got the psychopaths too. Why? Because you can beat them up. You can beat up people. And so more psychopaths go into it because they want to beat up people. Same thing with teaching, right? If you make teaching about controlling children, if you make teaching less about teaching and creating lesson plans and getting good grades and working with children on one-on-ones in public, but you make it more about, I don't know, detention and cue censoring and everything that you need to do is handed down to you, so you don't need creativity, and you're tested on a weekly or monthly basis to make sure you're doing what the Department of Education tells you, then you don't have people who love children and love creating lesson plans and making education creative becoming teachers. You still probably got most of them doing that. They hate their job after they get there once they realize their job is just checking a box. But you get people who just ain't got nothing else to do to go into teaching. Like, I ain't got nothing else to do. I'm a business administration major. I used to be a police officer, used to work in the CIA, used to be a banker or accountant. Ain't got nothing else to do. I guess I'll go be a teacher. That's the sign of a nation that give two damns about its children. You know, but here's a problem with the police state. The guy's down, he's not resisting, they're still beating him up. I grew up watching this. That's why I didn't want the police to have cameras. I think it's stupid. I didn't think it made any sense. I think the politicians need cameras more than anybody else. So when you hear that phone ring and somebody tells Donald Trump where he's gonna go, what he's gonna do, how he's gonna do it, and hear him begging that if he can have yellow Jell-O on Wednesday instead of the green Jell-O, the only decision they get to make, then people realize that the politicians don't actually run this country. They're just doing what they're told.
Stop and frisk.
What happened with stop and frisk was a systematic, oppressive, unconstitutional strategy that created a new problem much bigger than anything it purported to solve.
No, not really. Not really. First of all, it's a corporation. You don't have a constitution. People who read the law know that. Mr. de Blasio, and if you read the law, you would know the Act of 1871. If you're the mayor of New York, then you should be close enough to the governor to know that the state is a country. There is no constitution. They wrote the law, and the Supreme Court allowed the law in the state of New York or the federal, whoever reviewed it, because you ain't got no damn constitution. You're a commodity. You are there for the profit of industries and the black market called Wall Street. If it makes money, they will do it to you, period. That's the problem, is you get guys like this on TV and they won't actually say what the problem is. They'll talk about the mid-tier level. Oh, this was a bad law. We're going to back it out. We love you. We love the people. We're going to protect you and look out for you. We shouldn't have gone this direction. The Constitution, the Bill of Rights, we respect you. And he's literally in government. That's why I'm a default to Beaufort on this one. Because Beaufort will tell you what's a government. It's literally based in the opposite of freedom. They write laws, and the opposite of law is something that you're allowed to do, is free will. They don't believe in the Bill of Rights and Constitution, but we believe this nonsense, and that's why they gain in power.
This is the farthest thing from that. This is addressing a pandemic.
Yet according to leaked data,
this is lying about flu season.
90% of the people arrested for violating social distancing rules in New York City.
According to the CDC website. You always have to say that. You got to say that now. Because we said it before the CDC published it. Now they published it. Now you realize that it's just a mild flu season. You have to say that. You're not playing a doctor on TV. You're not playing a pharmacist or anybody else. You're stating what's exactly on the CDC website. It is a mild flu season. And once they realize that, they should have opened the state of New York immediately with the rest of the country. That's what a government would do that gave two damns about you or the economy. A government that's trying to walk you into 1984 to get you to take on whatever new software systems they want to buy and sell, whatever drones they want to get, whatever federal funding they want for rolling out a dragoon of a gulag police state. Then they would have let you go free as soon as they realized that this is just a mild flu season. They would have went back to focusing on the real pandemics, like, I don't know, child abuse, pedophilia, cancer, leukemia, ALS, autism, all the real pandemics.
Were Black and Hispanic. Following public outcry over racial disparities in New York City's enforcement of social distancing, officials are deploying social distancing ambassadors who are non-police workers.
Fake news is not racial disparagement. I hate stupid people. It's economic disparagement. You have social economics that put some people at the bottom of the ladder, and the people at the bottom of the ladder are less likely to get lawyers. And that is who the police are going to harass, because their job is based in getting numbers, getting more criminals. And the only way you're going to get a criminal and get it to stick is you need to make sure they're not hiring good lawyers. So in that area, if that person has a mullet, then if the poor people have mullets, you're going to run them in. In this area, if the people got brown skin or afros or got sagging pants and they look like they don't have any money, then you run them in or you shoot them. Same thing you do with the other people on the other side. This is all about social economics. It's just about power and money. That's it. That's it. That's it. It's always about power and money. It's never about your skin. It's never about your afro. It's never about where you're from, the tortillas or whatever it is. Never about none of that. It's always about power and money. It's always qui bono. And until you say qui bono, you're supporting the system. That's why I don't play race. Now, I don't give two damns about the racism. Racism is a side effect of the system. When you get rid of artificial scarcity, racism goes boop. When you get rid of giving people jobs as police so they can put biscuits on the table, when you stop that and you just let the people who have a passion for protecting people be the ones that carry the billy clubs, police don't need guns, then just like the surfer, then people who want to protect people, the heroes, those are the only ones who are the police. When you start deleting the laws and starting to govern instead of trying to rule a slave plantation of commodities, and they do it for free, who would go be a police for free? I would trust a police officer who did it for free. I would. Not totally, because I don't trust nobody. But not one that did it for money. No. When you fix the system. That's why we always talk about root fixes and principles, right? At the principle level, if you solve the problem, it's going to solve thousands of other problems with the racism. But then the people fighting racism, they don't really want to solve the problem, or they don't really understand the problem. They're being led around by the leaders who want to keep the system in place because they're making money on racism. They're making money keeping the system. And that's why politicians write books on racism, because they make money on racism. You see how that works? Which is no different than the federal government. When you give them a problem, they literally create an industry to solve the problem, but the industry will never solve the problem because now it's an industry. And you got 20,000 jobs based on there being a problem. That's why the war on drugs created more drug problems. The war on cancer created more cancer. The war on crime creates more crime, right? This is how all these things work, but we're not smart enough, or we're not paying attention enough to look at a root level for why the problem exists. Problems are profitable. Lessons for life. Thank you, Gerard. All right, I didn't do nothing, Lori. All I'm doing is I'm just restating what our elders have always said.
To persuade people to comply with social distancing measures. Reporting in New York, Trinity Chavez, RT.
Like we talked about Desiree earlier. That's why it's not about being safe and it's not about helping you. It's about compliance. They need people to comply. They need you to agree that they know what's best for you. And that's why I post crazy stuff like, I'm not interested in sick people telling me how to be healthy. I'm actually healthy. All right. I don't know. I don't know if anything else is on here is interesting. I haven't looked at the news in forever, so I'm a little social distance from the lies. Russia role in World War II, downplayed by the White House. Yeah, because it's supposed to piss Russia off. They need the Russians pissed off. They need the Americans like, yay, get Russia. And the more that they do that, the more all of this works together. You create tribalism, and that's how they keep power and profit in place. Mapping out which states are opening economies. Well, you know, if you're opening the economy instead of just turning the light switch back on, then you got another agenda. You obviously aren't looking at the CDC website. You're up to something. The killing in Georgia, I guess that's when the two guys went and hunted down the guy and killed him. Like I said, I believe in, justice is a good thing, but prevention is more important. Why would somebody do that, right? Why would somebody go do something like that? Well, I don't know. Is your government doing it? Are you happy when your government does it to bring in cheap minerals so Amazon can create stuff that gets these Amazon deliveries going every day? right? It's energy, right? If the government does it, then I think the people have to do it. I think that's how that all works out. Did CBS stage fake news story on coronavirus? CBS always does that. Not even a question. They're mainstream media. They're owned by the billionaires media. Of course they did. Coronavirus, fake quarantine, a virus that won't quit. Yeah, it quits when what's called herd immunity happens. Enough people get it who actually eat healthy food and their body fights it off. It takes in that RNA. It figures how to use it as a function or envelops it into its DNA or just holds it at bay. Then everyone else stops getting it. Because it stops spreading. It can't jump from person to person. It's called herd immunity. It doesn't come from corporations or billionaires or Wall Street. It comes from nature. Everything works together in balance. There's a reason for everything. Everything's done decently in order. That's how that scripture says. Russia gate again. Yes, Lily, it is. Russia, Russia, Russia. And it ain't Russia, Russia, Russia. It's China, China, China. It ain't China, China, China. It's immigrant, immigrant, immigrant. When it ain't immigrant, it's murder, hornet, murder, hornet. When it ain't that, it's virus, virus. If it ain't that, it's sharks, it's sharks. If it ain't that, it's black people's black people. If it ain't that, it's survivalists, survivalists. It ain't that, it's white privilege, white privilege. It ain't that, it's something else. It never stops. It never stops. It's MS-13, it's Bloods, it's Crips. But if you give people something to fear, you control them. So yeah, I can't really watch this. Oh, what did Jesse say? Kim Jong-un, some dumb ill debunks MSN claims. Oh, okay, that's where he said he's dead. Well, you know, you're grown enough not to believe the news. You should have known he wasn't dead. Kim Jong-il has coronavirus. They're just running out of things to report. So that's it. Right, I'm gonna do comments and I gotta get out of here because I got to pee. And I got seeds to free. I got seedlings to free. I got a whole bunch of seedlings I got to plant today, so I really ain't got too much time for this. It is fear porn, Georgia, and we got to stop being porn addicts. It's fear porn. Tell your family I said stop being a porn addict. So, you know, you're going to get a disease. You're going to get a disease if you're a porn addict to fear porn. Because somebody makes a profit from giving you a disease, and it's probably going to be what's in that shot. Every cure on the planet, nature created a cure for everything on the planet, and all the cures usually are found between your ears. Big G God is the appreciation that everything is God, and that is where we fail because we can't accept everything. We have convinced ourselves that we can cherry pick what constitutes as everything. That's right, Beaufort, and that's birth indoctrination. It's a religious indoctrination. Sometimes it's a scientific indoctrination, right? When you know you are everything, you know you are the mosquitoes, that you're supposed to have the mosquito to bite you because it gives you a little bit of RNA and blood and bacteria and viruses from things in the environment that are actually solving bacteria and other nefarious diseases in the environment, that are solving them, helping your body to take them in, shows you how to fight them. It shows your body how to recognize them. It targets them for your white blood cells to destroy. When you realize that all this works together, you don't really have nothing to fight. You realize God is the mosquito, God is the virus, God is Jeannie and Beaufort and the shark and Petra and Kati and Jonathan and Lori. And if God is all those things, then how can I be in conflict with God? You know? Obvious, just real basic understandings that everything works together in balance, and they make profit in convincing you that things aren't in balance and that you need a corporation to save you from the balance of nature, which is stupid. Makes you wonder if sonic testing or similar had been being conducted. I think sonic testing, if it works, then they're doing it. If it creates viruses or if it creates viral-like conditions, if it causes problems with people and a corporation's paying because they make it because it's a cheap product or chemical or EMF radiation, then the government's going to go for it if it's not a government. If it's a corporation that's designed to look like a government. The world makes sense when you take out like the emotional aspect of the crap that the mainstream media likes to give you. If only more people watch Schoolhouse Rock as a kid. Schoolhouse Rock! Yes. I'm just a bill and I'm sitting on Capitol Hill. They redid that, Susan. They redid that one. Didn't they redo it and they put in the Federal Reserve part of it, how the bill gets bought? I'm just a bill and you're a shill. It is no Capitol Hill. It's just a corporation and a board telling all your presidents what to do. Sound heals. It does, Petra. And we learned that from the Egyptians going way back then. Which is why I love ancient archaeology. Our ancestors figured out a whole lot of stuff that we forgot about. I still sing those in the car, Susan. Yes, so do I, Jonathan. You can't get them out your head because they actually work and they're along that right vibration. instead of the stuff that they put in the music now to make you crazy. Good morning, Gina. Where are the voices during this episode? You let them sleep in today. It just depends on it depends on stories, both. If I got a good story, I sometimes got to find a voice in my head somewhere. Gerard, that is not factual, and you know it. What isn't factual, Beaufort? I have to look at the comment up here because it's something you said a long time ago. Please correct me. Strength of character is sexy as hell to me. Knowing self and fighting on no matter what. Yes, it is, Lori. That is sexy. The other thing that's sexy is like women who say, like, I'm a sovereign citizen. I'm free, you know? I love hearing stuff like that. I know how to make a poultice. There's something about that. Do you have comfrey in your garden? That's some sexy stuff. The ones walking around here with what is that? Some of these perfumes that are noxious and like they make you dizzy. No. That used to do it for me. Not anymore. No, that scares the hell out of me. Good morning, Madonna. Let me see. 3,000 people die a day from car accidents more than COVID-19. If you're afraid to die, stop driving. Exactly, Susan. But the problem is that logic only works when you don't watch television. That logic works only when you can like prioritize things in your life. People can't prioritize. They let television tell them what to fear. And so they're more scared to go out in public and be around people than to drive a car or fly an airplane, jump off a bridge or whatever they do. But that's why I said every cure in society, every cure in the environment is in between your ears. We've had a silent war being waged on us for a long time. And I think the biggest weapon that they use, the most powerful weapon that they use is the television, because that's how they make people stupid. The Army Corps of Michigan spent $9 million tax dollars to set up a field hospital that had 39 patients and a capacity for thousands. They have since closed it, 39 patients at a cost of $9 million. Betty, it tells you that it's a scam. It tells you that they scammed it. Somebody else had a good theory though. They said, but why did they leave those up in certain areas? And they're saying it's for the testing. Drag people in to test them. So I don't know. Not true. There's an average of 35,000 to 40,000 automobile fatalities per year. Okay, so roughly around the same amount of people who die from car accidents as the flu. Every year. You know, but the thing about the car accidents is mostly, well, the flu's preventable too. The flu's preventable and so are car accidents. But you got to do the things. You got to care about your people to focus on that though. So they're about equal, you know, so if the government cares about you, they'll give you self-driving cars that aren't based in swarming technology and EMF radiation that gives you flu-like symptoms. That's number one, and cancer, which is 4G was proven to have done according to the doctors in Michigan. If they cared about the flu, then they would give the land back to the farmers. They'd allocate a parcel of land to Kim, Susan, Georgia, Beaufort, Tim, and everybody else so they could grow healthy food on their own and they can feed themselves from their land and their local communities instead of shipping food in that's poison from other countries. If they actually cared about the flu, they would care about your immune system, right? They'd care about your freedom. They'd make sure you could go to the beach and sit in the sun and create that vitamin D3. They don't actually care about your health. They care about control. They profit. They hold many vaccine patents. Yep, Georgia, and I think somebody's, who is it, Dr. Shiva? Dr. Shiva, Dr. Buttar, I forgot which showed that, they got the patents for it and it's already done, and they had that hot mic in Washington that everybody forgot about where the guy said, well, we're okay because we're all vaccinated anyway. And people are like, no, that was a slip of the tongue. Was it? Yeah. There you go. Let me see. That's not teaching. That's indoctrinating. Right, Kim? Where do they get more indoctrinated? That's what they want. They don't want teachers. They want indoctrinators. They want people who will do what the Department of Education says and take the money. And they really don't care who does it. You can be a pedophile. You can be this, that, or the other. They could care less. All they want is people who will do what they're told to do. And teachers don't like that. And so teachers flee the system. Same thing with the cops that become whistleblowers. They flee the system because they realize it's not what it's about. Same thing with the nurses. Maintaining order in the classroom. That's all they want, Petra. They'd rather have kids drugged up on Ritalin than kids who are excited and creative. Because the people who don't like children who are teaching, they don't want excited children. They don't even like children. They like business and banking or whatever else they were doing. The teachers who like children, you're shooing them out by not letting them have that creativity. People who like children, they love creativity in children. You love the most exciting ones. The most exciting thing is like when you're like out and like some kid who's playing in the park with his family runs over you. Hey, mister, what you doing? Where you going? What you got? What's that? Can I see it? How's it work? Oh, that's what that is? Okay. And they run and they go find somebody else. That right? Yeah, usually you're like, yeah, okay, that kid might be on some drugs, might be, or that kid is on a drug called life. That kid is on a drug called nature. That kid comes from a family who doesn't have any fear. So they'll run up to a stranger because they know dad and mom is right down over there, and they're not worried about people in the park. They see something that's exciting, they run over, they want to pet your dog, they want to play with your monkey. Do they walk monkeys in the park? That was fun back in the day when people had monkeys, but the problem is the monkeys grow up and then they bite your fingers off and they beat you over the head with your leg. That's usually a problem with monkeys. I tend to fall asleep. It's binaural beats. Do you believe in binaural beats, Jeannie? I did once. I'm not sure if I believe it because it's about the speakers on your cell phone or your laptop, whatever you're listening on. If they're not broadcasting in the hertz that binaural beats is, then it kind of negates it. And most speakers can't play on the frequencies that they talk about. Let me see. Last couple comments, I'm gonna go. Government runs the schools, teach respect for authority first and foremost. That's it, Rebecca. The first point of schools is compliance. It's like the mask. The first point is to teach a slave that it's a slave, that it must sit, shut up, be quiet while the authority's talking. And I don't want my kids to be that way. So that's why I troll school anytime I get Rebecca Costello, you know. And so the funny thing is, think of what it's teaching the kids now. They're like looking at their parents like they're gods, and now the government just told their parents that they got to wear a mask when they go outside, they have to social distance, and they got to stay indoors. Imagine what that's going to do in the next generation in terms of giving them the narrative of who actually has the power. When you live in a country where the people are supposed to be the ones in power, the people are supposed to be telling the government where to go, when to get off. So that's always it. And Rebecca, people who don't look at where the modern school system came from. So I keep forgetting, somewhere in Europe where it was like a military training or whatever. All you gotta do is look at the source of things, turn off the Kardashians and look at where things came from. Educate yourself and you won't have to blue screen. Ooh, free flu shots everywhere this season. First year for that and then all this. Have we researched what was shed all over the effing place this year from those? No, Jeannie, but so there's an environmental thing. I got to be honest with you. We have free flu shots all the time. We got them every single year. You get them with your hot dog and French fries. You go buy something in the store, you get free flu shots. They do that here all the time because people here aren't buying. I think it depends on where you are. I think you're in California, so they're probably not free there. People believe it, so they'll pay for something that's junk. I think a lot of people here, still a lot of farmland, and I don't think they're buying it, so they got to give it away free. And nothing given away free really has value. But it's weird. It's like the first season here for me, I'm noticing that, you know what, the flu shot was free in 16, 17, 18, it's free in 19, and people are begging for the flu shot. And it was free. And it didn't have no value before ahead of time, but everybody want it now. Or a lot of people want it. Very crazy times we live in. You get free chicken gift cards all oh, when you get your flu shot, Georgia? Okay, well, Georgia, it depends on where you are, I think. We sell solutions. Yes, they do sell solutions, Petra, and usually the solution creates another problem that creates more profit. The benefit of living under an oligarchy, which is a corporation that's in bed with government and is pretending to be a government when it's really all just one big corporation. All right, last comment, so I'm gonna get the rolling. We are 80/0 water. And it vibrates beautifully when you're kind. Are you talking about happy water, Sandy? That's the thing people can look at. Look up Dr. what is his name? The scientist in Japan who studied and found out what happy water is. We don't even know what water is. Please don't try to tell me you know what a vaccine is. We don't know what water is. Nor do we know what that happens. And so water's in all these things. We really don't understand them at all. But when we pretend we understand, we can make a lot of profit. Driving people cuckoo with all the craziness, evolve and elevate from the madness. Sandra, that's what you need to do. I just laugh it off. Laugh it off. These people are nuts and they don't know what they're talking about. And the statistics prove they don't know what they're talking about. which is, you know, there it is. There's always a culling in nature, and it always comes and goes. And we go through, you know, I think there are ebbs and tides. There are times that, you know, you get prolific amounts of people that believe in government. They believe in slavery. It's a good idea. And then that pendulum goes back. My only concern is that we're getting to a point where we have such technology, we're flirting with the end of the human race, and we probably should pay a little more attention to not repeating the cycle than anything else. Let's see. These are BS fabric masks, no good, whatever, but make you ill. This is true, Georgia, and that illness has a name. And it begins between your ears. If whatever's between your ears doesn't work, you're gonna have problems. Just checking in. Still want to know, what is food? Ooh, Patsy, food is something that we've been eating for millions of years. If whatever you are as a species, you've been eating it for millions of years, and you see that in the grocery store, then that's food. If I think, what's the other way to say it? If the grandmother didn't recognize it as food, it ain't. All you got to do is do that, and that'll collapse most of the industries in America that need to and around the world. Tell lies vision. Yes, Lily, I love how you said that in yesterday's video. Television, or that was Saturday's. Television, tell lies vision. They just say it right there. They put it right in front of people, Lily, and they just say, oh no, it's the truth. It's true, I saw it on TV. As seen on TV. Remember the as seen on TV? Anybody old enough to remember that? They were probably preparing us for this now. They had the, as seen on TV, so you can trust it. It's a product line you can buy, because they had to tag as seen on TV, and so you knew that it's true blue funky goo. It will work because it was as seen on TV. Everything is a scam, and I think it's all psychological. They prepare us decades before they do the nonsense that they do. All right, 3,000 is global statistics, not just America. I don't know what y'all talking about, but yes, Operation Mockingbird, Lily, that's a thing. People can look that up. Bags of cash, just bags of cash, turning you into mockingbirds, which reminds me, I have to show you something. Turning people into mockingbirds, which is a very important thing to focus on, because did y'all see yesterday they turned the politicians into mockingbirds? Did y'all see that when they were all repeating the same thing? I gotta show you that real quick. When your politicians start acting like mockingbirds, it's obvious that there's a bird above that's telling them to mock. Right here, let me show you this. When they all start saying the same thing. Because you know what I'm talking about? The media, when the media has that thing, and all the media says the same exact thing, and it's obvious that they're reading from a script. When the global politicians start doing that, that should be a clue to everybody that somebody else is calling the shots. This was a great video. I think Amazing Polly put these guys together right here. Right here.
Better diagnostics, treatments, and a safe and effective vaccine.
COVID-19 diagnostics, therapeutics and vaccines.
Largement du développement et du déploiement rapide de diagnostics, vaccins et traitements efficaces.
Universal access to vaccination, treatment and diagnostics.
Equitable access to new COVID diagnostics, therapeutics and vaccine.
We must all work together on improving diagnostics, accelerating therapies, and ultimately developing a vaccine.
We need to make vaccines, treatment, and diagnostics accessible to everyone.
Vaccines, treatments, and diagnosis will be the most effective way to do it.
We need new diagnostics, vaccines, treatments, and an equal distribution to all.
On equitable access to diagnostics, treatments, and vaccines.
And affordability of the vaccines, therapeutics, and diagnostics
in order to develop adequate treatments and vaccine.
Should tell you everything that you need to know. They're all reading from a script. This was a project and a plan. That's why when people call it a pandemic, don't doubt them. They know what they're talking about. This stuff was lined up, disaster capitalism, a long time ago. And we're going to find out exactly where they wanted to take it if we don't grow the hell up. Anyway, this Gerard, I gotta get going. Y'all have a wonderful, wonderful day. Yes, Brother Jonathan, we're gonna end on you. It was a banker script. It's a banker script. It's a banker script. Always trust the money. Always key bono. It's always a scam for power and money. Y'all have a great day, Gerard. Bye-bye.
Do you want a free